The Epstein files are out. We in the building. Everybody hit the like, man. Smash that like, man. Smash that like button, man. Without further ado, without further ado, without further ado, without further ado, what's happening, man? What's cracking?
This is a Fox News alert. The Epstein files have been released. Fox News senior national correspondent Kevin Corke has been pouring through all the documents. Kevin, what can you tell us?
Evening, Laura. I don't want to oversell this because I don't think there's a whole lot to sell, at least so far. We'll probably learn a lot more tomorrow morning by that 8 a.m. deadline that the AG has given the FBI in New York to turn over everything in their possession. But let me back up for just a second. The Attorney General, you recall last night, called it breaking news. She promised that we would get the Epstein files today. And while that turned out technically to be true, what we've seen so far, critics have argued tonight, really hasn't lived up to the dramatic billing. Now, we began the day with somewhat high expectation, having seen some influencers with so-called Epstein file folders. But that began to fizzle just a bit because we really didn't get a lot of new information. So once we saw that, we wondered, what about the Attorney General's? Was she holding back? Well, she actually wrote a letter, Laura, to the FBI director, Kash Patel, suggesting that the FBI's New York office, which collected material from the SDNY, that's the Southern District of New York, it seemed to be, for lack of a better description, stonewalling, holding back key materials. Now, the FBI director, obviously concerned about this, went on X, and Director Patel wrote a fairly lengthy post. In it, he said there'll be no cover-ups and no missing documents and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current Bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. He went on to say, if there are gaps, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them, and we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. So you may be wondering, okay, after all that, Kevin, what do we have? Well, so far we do have 7 flight logs. We have an Epstein contact book. We have a masseuse list, which strangely was redacted. Now, I should add this as well, Laura. Many of the names that we saw on the flight logs, at least so far, mirrored some of the names that we've seen before. There was obviously a criminal action that involved Ghislaine Maxwell. Some of the names on that flight log list, we've already seen those before. But what was interesting so far tonight, and I'm still going through it, we did see a few names in that contact book I told you about. Among them, Michael Bloomberg, Alec Baldwin, and former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. Again, we're still going through it. As I get more information, I promise to pass it along, but that's what I have so far.
All right.
Welcome back. Another big story that we're watching.
What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
He sure did.
Right now, we are waiting the Epstein files. We are told once they are ready, they will be released on the Department of Justice's website. This is the first phase of.
This is a Fox News.
We've been closely following the release of information about Jeffrey Epstein and his apparent global sex trafficking ring and the people reportedly involved in his activities. And as we awaited on much anticipated new information from the newly appointed Attorney General Pam Bondi, there was a twist. Bondi just announced she is essentially launching an investigation into the FBI for allegedly hiding documents. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. We were on pins and needles all day today because we were expecting a new trove of documents in connection to infamous pedophile and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Attorney General Pam Bondi had told Fox News last night that her office would be releasing information connected to Jeffrey Epstein, something the new administration had vowed to make a priority, and that it was going to happen today, on Thursday. And on Thursday afternoon, what did we see? We saw a group of young conservative commentators who were outside the White House holding binders that said, "The Epstein Files, Phase 1. Now, at the time of this recording, we, the public, we haven't seen what that information is. Although, according to the New York Post, a source who apparently reviewed the file says it's over 100 pages, includes a list of contacts, but advised it was going to be bound to be a disappointment, quote, a disappointment for those looking for new information. And I mean, if you think about that, through the course of various litigation and the criminal trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's accomplice, who was convicted of her own sex trafficking and enticing and transporting minors for illegal sex acts charges, we already saw a lot of information that was made public. Flight manifest, logs, documents, his address book, names connected or associated with Jeffrey Epstein. We all saw this. So the question becomes, what is really new? And that raises a very important question. Why? Because not long after those commentators left, we saw a letter from the Office of the Attorney General to the newly appointed FBI Director, Kash Patel. And it reads, "Before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how such information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with law, as I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. I am also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know that we are both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and our country." What a story, right? Look, the stories we cover on Sidebar, I feel, highlight just how scary the world can be at times and how important it is to protect yourself. Talking about that is particularly true online, especially when it comes to protecting your personal information. So whether it's spam, identity theft, online stalking, our amazing sponsor, Surfshark, offers an incredible solution to these issues with their alternative number feature. So this service, built right into the Surfshark app, lets you create an entirely new identity, complete with a random US phone number, email, name.
So we really didn't get nothing. There was nothing there. Nothing happened today. We didn't get anything. This is a nothing burger. This was a nothing burger, man. This is a nothing burger. This is a nothing burger, man. This was nothing, man. We're gonna have to go somewhere else with this, man. This was nothing.
Right now, a 14-year-old is in critical condition at Regional 1 after a shooting in South Memphis. WREG is learning the address where police found him is the same place where 3 other teens were recently shot. Hello, I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Greg Hurst is off tonight. WREG's Brian Didlake has been following this story, and he's here with the very latest tonight. Brian?
Stephanie, while the teen is being treated here at Regional 1, this will be the second time in a little more than 2 months where teens were shot in the area.
Airway station responds to a shooting at Kerr.
Memphis police arrived to a home off Kerr Avenue in South Memphis just before 1:15 this afternoon and found a 14-year-old boy critically injured.
The information we have at this time is that 2 male suspects occupying a newer model Honda Accord, blue in color.
Details on what led to the shooting still unclear, but officers say the 14-year-old was actually shot at Dunn Avenue and Perry Road and then driven to the home on Kerr.
It happened at another location. This is the location that they drove to.
This is not the first time police responded to a shooting at the address on Kerr Avenue. Back in December, 3 teens were shot in a drive-by shooting the day before Christmas Eve. This black sedan said to be the vehicle the suspect was driving. A WREG digging deeper saw in the past year over 120 incidents in a quarter-mile radius, nearly
120 incidents in a quarter of a mile radius. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's just that area. What percentage of what? Give me the what percentage of that neighborhood is black, man? What percentage of that neighborhood is black, man? That is a 120 incidents in a quarter mile radius. Jesus Christ. That place. Jeez. Jeez. I mean, like, God damn. I gotta change the direction of the show, man. It says 78, 80%, 1,000. Yeah, man, there's a lot of sun turds over there, man. God damn. That's a lot of suns, man. Jeez. I'll just go ahead and switch it up, man. We're gonna switch it up, man. That I didn't know. I don't look at the stories before I come live because I want to have a raw reaction. So I didn't know what was going on with the Epstein files until the show started. But now I see that it's just a big dud. So I'm gonna change the thumbnail and change the title. We'll go somewhere else with it. Jeez.
This is the location that they drove to.
This is not the first time police responded to a shooting at the address on Kerr Avenue. Back in December, 3 teens were shot in a drive-by shooting the day before Christmas Eve. This black sedan said to be the vehicle the suspect was driving. A WRG digging deeper saw in the past year over 120 incidents in a quarter-mile radius, nearly 70 within a few blocks. Many incidents include burglary, motor vehicle theft, and aggravated assaults. Back to today's shooting, Memphis police seen towing a vehicle from the scene. Its connection to the case, unclear.
If you witnessed or know anything or live in this area and have cameras, we need your help.
And now, both the December drive-by shooting and today's shooting are still under investigation. If you have any information about either shooting, you're encouraged to call Crime Stoppers at 528-CAT.
Developments Thursday in the case of Timothy Harrington Jr., charged with capital murder and tampering with evidence in the death of.
He's the boy who killed the tranny. He was dealing with the tranny, and I don't know what happened. Something happened, and he killed the tranny after they were in a relationship of some kind.
Harrington Jr., charged with capital murder and tampering with evidence in the death of University of Mississippi.
Yeah, let's bring that word back. Let's bring tranny back, man. Why did tranny have to go away, man? Tranny, man. And man, take the $7 challenge via PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat. Support these shows, man. Support. Let's see if we can get 10 new supporters. 10 people who never supported before, man. Are there 10 people who never supported out there? Are there 10 people who've never hit the Cash App out there? You can support via PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat, Patreon. All the links are in the description box. Are there 10 people who've never supported? Who've never supported the channel? Are you out there? Are you out there? No, I don't accept food stamps, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't accept food stamps, man. Nah, that's a hard no, man. Pause. No food stamps, man. No food stamps. But no Bitcoin either, man. No food stamps or Bitcoin, man. No food stamps or Bitcoin. Unfortunately, man.
Mississippi student Jimmy J. Lee. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Greg Hurst is off tonight. Today, the state announced it will not seek the death penalty against Harrington, who has been in custody and appeared in court today for bond hearing. WREG's Mike Sirianni has details on what happened during that proceeding.
Timothy Harrington Jr. headed back to the Lafayette County Detention Center Thursday after his bond request was denied.
It is the state's position that because he is charged with a capital offense and the proof is evident and the presumption great that he is guilty of said offense, that he is not entitled to a bond, and it is the discretion, within the sole discretion of this court, if he should have one.
From the bench, Judge John Kelly Luther pulling no punches in his decision to deny bond for Harrington, who awaits another trial for the murder of Jimmy J. Lee.
Pressure on Mr. Harrington has gotten worse. The justification for not showing up.
Harrington's new attorney disappointed but not completely surprised by the judge's decision.
I will speak to, and I think the judge acknowledged Mr. Harrington, while he's been out on bond, he did everything he's supposed to do. He had no issues, showed up. But again, I think because there's a heightened sense when the charge is capital murder, I think that creates the issue that the judge had to determine.
Attorney Sellers also requested Judge Luther dismiss the tampering with evidence charge against his client, saying the statute of limitations on the charge had expired. The state countering, saying the charge should not be dismissed. Prosecutors citing information about evidence found with the remains of Jimmy J. Lee in February in Carroll County, 19 minutes from Harrington's home in Grenada.
When he's found, that same bonnet is found with him. It's the conditions of the body. When Jay is found, the moving blankets are found with him. The duct tape is found with him.
Attorney Sellers taken aback by the state's disclosure.
That was disclosed without, and discovery is ongoing, and we hadn't gotten that piece of information. My first time hearing that was today.
For your news leader in Oxford, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
Come on that for sure. And District Attorney Ben Creek.
The tranny was a bonnet head, man. He was messing with a bonnet head tranny, man. Jeez. Man, I tell you, man.
First developing news in the case of a Birmingham firefighter who died after being shot on the job. The main suspect in the 5 Point South mass shooting, now facing charges in the death of Jordan Melton. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Guy Rawlings.
And I'm Brittany Decker. We have team coverage for you tonight. Magda Lusant is standing by at the fire station where Melton was shot.
So first, let's check in with WVTM 13's Lisa Crane, live and local outside the police department. Officers announced multiple new charges for McDaniel today. Lisa.
That's right. The man police believe is responsible for 2 mass shootings and multiple deaths, now accused in several other cases. At a press conference today, authorities announced Damian McDaniel is charged with the murders of Mia Nixon, who was gunned down in front of her home, Anthony Love Jr., he was shot and killed at a UPS facility where he worked, and Jordan Melton, one of 2 Birmingham firefighters who was shot at Fire Station 9 in Norwood in the summer of 2023. That murder has gone unsolved for 19 months.
While some of these investigations may require more time, rest assured that we are tirelessly working every day towards bringing perpetrators to justice with efficiency and meticulous work carried out by our homicide detectives.
That Negro was going around whacking everybody, whacking working people. He was going around whacking working people. Shout out for Hidden for Time, man. Shout out to Hidden for Time, man. Salute to you, man. This dude was whacking working people.
Now, since the tragic shooting there at Fire Station 9, the department has adjusted its safety plans to make sure firefighters feel safe at work. WVTM 13's Magdalene Lusant is live right now outside the fire station in Norwood to tell us all about those changes. Magdalene?
So, Lisa, Chief Moon tells me when he took his position in 2020, they added cameras to all of the fire stations. But when Sergeant Jones and Jordan Melton were shot here at Fire Station 9, they knew there was more work to be done. On January 12th, Birmingham police say that Damian McDaniel walked into Fire Station 9 that morning and shot at firefighters Jordan Melton and Sergeant Jamal Jones multiple times. That day, authorities say the fire station was open to the public should anyone need help. Well, shortly after that shooting, Chief Moon said they closed the fire station down for a few months to allow employees to seek counseling. In between that time, he says they worked on expanding their safety plan and giving some first responders the option to come back to their post at Fire Station 9. He said most of them came back, but there are others who did not.
We've added additional security cameras. We added door access control. We updated our station security policy. So we wanted to make sure that we were doing everything that we could. And we're still working to add some additional security measures with BPD and the help of the mayor's office. So it's constantly.
So these firemen that are not scared of running into a fire are scared of a nigga. That's crazy. They'll run into a burning building, but they terrified of some random nigga. C'est la vie, man.
In between that time, he says they worked on expanding their safety plan and giving some first responders the option to come back to their post at Fire Station 9. He said most of them came back, but there are others who did not.
We've added additional security cameras. We added door access control. We updated our station security policy. So we wanted to make sure that we were doing everything that we could. And we're still working to add some additional security measures with BPD and the help of the mayor's office. So it's constantly evolving. We're constantly trying to do more.
There was a third person in the fire station that day. That hero has not been named at all during this time, but he was on site to get more help for Sergeant Jamal Jones and Melton. Moon tells me Jones is doing well, but still has some recovery to go through. Moon gave Jones an update on McDaniel today, and he said that he was happy to hear that charges have been filed. So the fire department aren't the only ones in our community who are connected to this recent news with Damian McDaniel. And there are other family members across Birmingham who are dealing with this and still processing this. But Chief Moon does have a message to those family members, and you'll hear that at 6. We're live in Birmingham. I'm Magdala Lusant, WVTM 13.
Salute to Barry B. Barry B says, old girl Bondi protected names on Epstein client list because they're all juice crew. Yeah, something going on fishy, man. Yeah, something's going on fishy with that client list, man. Shout out to Christopher, man. Christopher coming through, man. Salute to you, Christopher. Shout out to Frederick, man. Frederick in the building. Yeah, I didn't know it was a nothing burger. I thought it was something to it. That's why I was going to do the show on that tonight. But now that I see it's a nothing burger, the Epstein client list, we're going to go with the regular effery, man. The nightly news, man. What's going on in Blackiston? You got this serial killer in Birmingham. Birmingham serial killer.
Moon does have a message to those family members, and you'll hear that at 6. We're live in Birmingham. I'm Magdala Lusant, WVTM 13.
Magdala, thank you. And as we've mentioned, McDaniel now charged in 14 murders, a string of shootings taking place over a year. Police say
this nigga is charged in 14 murders. We did the story when it broke a few months ago. This nigga right here on the right, he's charged in 14 homicides in one city. And that shit happened over the course of like a year. That wasn't a long time he did these shits.
McDaniel now charged in 14 murders, a string of shootings taking place over a year. Police say it started on July 12, 2023, when Jordan Melton and Jamal Jones were gunned down as they worked at that fire station in Norwood. On January 10, 2024, McDaniel is now charged with killing Mia Nixon, I should say. The 21-year-old was shot and killed in front of her home in Crestwood. And in April, he's accused of targeting Anthony Love Jr., a UPS driver shot and killed as he walked to his car after work. On July 13, 2024, the first of 2 mass shootings McDaniel is accused of at an event center in North Birmingham. 4 people died there, 10 others were hurt. He's also charged with killing DeAntrinette Brown inside a club on 9th Street North. That was September 19th. And then just 2 days later, McDaniel is accused of opening fire in the 5 Points neighborhood as people.
Yeah. And this is the nigga that everybody rap about. This is the nigga that in the black community. In the black community, this dude is not a pariah when he's on the streets. When this nigga's on the streets, he's not a pariah. We got to keep it a buck, man. That nigga is not persona non grata, man. When this nigga's on the streets, he's a real nigga. I love him, man. I got love for him. I love my nigga. What's his name? Damien. What's this nigga's name? Damien. Man, my nigga Damien, man. I love my nigga Damien, man. I got love for them, man. They're my niggas, man. Nigga get busy, man. My nigga Damien, he get busy. He with the shits. Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. He with the shit. My nigga. This is my nigga, man. I love him, man.
String of shootings taking place over a year. Police say it started on July 12th, 2023, when Jordan Melton and Jamal Jones were gunned down as they worked at that fire station in Norwood. On January 10th, 2024, McDaniel is now charged with killing Mia Nixon, I should say. The 21-year-old was shot and killed in front of her home in Crestwood. And in April, he's accused of targeting Anthony Love Jr., a UPS driver shot and killed as he walked to his car after work. On July 13th, 2024, the first of two mass shootings McDaniel is accused of at an event center in North Birmingham. 4 people died there, 10 others were hurt. He's also charged with killing DeAntrinette Brown inside a club on 9th Street North. That was September 19th. And then just 2 days later, McDaniel is accused of opening fire in the 5 Points neighborhood as people stood in line outside a lounge. In that incident, 4 people died, 17 others were hurt. Now, in a statement, McDaniel's lawyer says they are ready to move forward with their defense in all of these cases, saying, quote, "We were aware there was further investigations going on that were separate from the pending cases, so we are not too surprised by the additional charges. The defense team will not be deterred from providing our client with the vigorous defense that our system of justice demands." Now, I spoke with the mother of the firefighter McDaniel is accused of killing, Rochelle Gaston Malone. She told me just before he died that her son, Jordan Melton, told her he felt called by God to help mentor young people who might be headed down the wrong path. And she is continuing his wish to do that. She has launched an annual event in her son's honor aimed at combating gun violence. The second annual Jordan E. Melton Safety Summit is going to take place this Friday at the A.G. Gaston Boys and Girls Club. Brittany?
Lisa, thanks so much. And as always, we are continuing to follow this case very closely for you. You can find all of the latest details in this case and all of.
Jeez. Drop the link, man. This nigga was a 14. He had 2 mass shootings in a week where he killed 4 people in each one. I think that's more impressive though, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. I ain't even gonna lie. This one right here where he this right here where he killed hold on, he killed hold on.
McDaniel is now charged with killing Mia Nixon, I should say. The 21-year-old was shot and killed. In April, he's a UPS driver shot and killed on July 3rd. McDaniel is accused of at an event center in North Birmingham. 4 people died there. Is accused of at an event center in North Birmingham. 4 people died there. 10 others were hurt. He's also charged with killing DeAntrinette Brown inside a club on 9th Street North. That was September 19th. And then just 2 days later, McDaniel is accused of opening fire in the 5 Points neighborhood as people stood in line outside a lounge. In that incident, 4 people died.
So he killed, what's June 19th, July 13th, July, August, September. In 2 months, he killed 9 people. He killed 9 people in 2 months. What's cracking, fisherman?
Is this Sunman going in the Hall of Fame? The greatest Sunman to ever Sunman?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of them. It's a lot of them out there. He's definitely one of them. He's definitely one of them, man. He's definitely.
So in total, this guy shot like 40 people?
Yeah. Yeah, at least 40 people. But he killed 14 of them. But he had a hot streak between July and September where he killed 9. really heated up. I mean, and he just was out here. He was just out here living, and people had to know because they always know. They know who the killers is. The streets, the block, man. It's just normal, man. It's just so normalized, man. So normalized, man. That type of behavior, man. Jeez Christ. Do you know anything about Epstein, man?
I know some stuff.
All right. Well, I gotta go. Give my wife some water, so you can fill them in on Epstein while you you know you can fill them in on the Epstein thing, man. While I go do this, while I go do my give my wife some water. All right. Let me see if you whatever you know about it.
Okay. Hmm. All right. Well, so people think Epstein was connected to Mossad, and Ghislaine Maxwell, the juice crew woman that was his lover, I guess, business partner, lover, among other things. Her dad was named Robert Maxwell, and he was a rich business juice crew man. I think he was based in the UK, and he, if I remember right, was found floating dead in a pool or the ocean or something. He was found dead, and the rumor is that he was working for the Mossad and he double crossed them and somehow tried to extort them for some amount of money and pool, and it didn't go his way. And funny enough, he actually owned, I think, a piece of the printing company called McGraw-Hill, which they were responsible in large part for printing a lot of the textbooks that went into the public schools in the United States. So you have a juice crew guy connected to the Mossad controlling the printing of textbooks that are issued to public school students in the United States. And that is how you create a population of people that have no idea how the world works. But they're not going to release Epstein's client list because there's too many powerful people involved that pull a lot of weight, at the upper levels of society. And Trump, as much as he, is trying to do with Doge and his, excuse me, cabinet appointments and whatnot to clean things up, that is something that he, at least currently, I do not think he has the ability to do anything related to that. He's been receiving juice crew money for pretty much 40 something years. And his largest donor at one point was Sheldon Adelson, who is, or was, he just recently died. He was a juice crew billionaire who self-described himself as his only goal was to be a good juice crew, a good Zionist. And that is somebody who gave Trump hundreds of millions of dollars in his political campaigns. And so Trump can't green light the revealing of those names because they're going to lead to big juice crew money via a group called the Mega Group, which is a bunch of juice crew billionaires that funnel money around and topple governments and stage coups and whatever to, just make more money, consolidate business, funnel it back into Israeli politics and the U.S. politics. Trump's cabinet appointees are pretty much all hardcore Zionists, as much as they tout the pro-America stance. So at no level of his immediate working government is he going to have anybody that challenges the Zionist control of the United States government. The comment on the super chat on the screen where it's saying they're all juice crew on Epstein's list, I don't think that's true. I think Epstein was serving the purpose of he wasn't actually like a super self-made wealthy guy. He was getting money from a juice crew guy named Les Wexner, who is responsible for brands like Bed Bath and Beyond and Victoria's Secret and some other things. And this Les Wexner guy was funding Epstein for, just to create this facade that Epstein was this super rich, tycoon or whatever, and he could therefore navigate these upper echelons of academia and business, Silicon Valley, get close to these people, and then ultimately, hopefully, get them on film. I think this is how this all worked. Get them on film, cheating on their spouse, some sort of recording of a backdoor deal that may or may not be legal, sleeping with somebody who's 16 years old, 15 years old, that may look of age, but they're actually younger, or just outright sleeping with somebody that's, obviously underage, like a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, and then using that information to extract information from these people, hold it over their head, get them to do his bidding, ultimately all feeding back into this, Zionist den of information peddlers. So, like, the idea that they're all juice crew on this client list, I don't think is true. I think it was people across a bunch of different industries, university professors, business executives, politicians, celebrities, just people, anybody that, it would be worth garnering their ear, getting their attention, getting them to do what you want. Someone like a P. Diddy. And P. Diddy was basically an understudy to the juice crew billionaire media executive Clive Davis, who, it wouldn't take a stretch of the imagination to understand that he's probably doing the same type of stuff that Epstein was doing and P. Diddy was doing, sexual blackmail, getting people on film, and forcing them to ultimately do whatever it is that he wants. Promote degeneracy in music and film, run competition out of his business, learn about some other record deal, just any amount of information that can create leverage and, produce monetary gain. Just these are the people that are the movers and the shakers at the highest levels. It's just juice crew people. And usually they're useful idiots. Speaking of specifically Trump, though, he there's an old interview of him in his, I think he was in Trump Towers, his office in Trump Tower, and he's got awards given to him by the Juice Crew going back to the 80s, where they were, for some reason or another, he was promoting business with them, getting included in contracts with them, and allegedly he was in really bad financial shape at one point, in the hole on some of these real estate deals, and a Rothschild employed banker, Juice Crew banker, named Wilbur Ross, you can look him up, he ended up working for Trump, I think in his first administration. He was the Rothschild liaison that helped bail Trump out of all of his debt. I think this was late 80s, early 90s. And there was a quote by Wilbur Ross describing, the Trump's character and his charisma. And Wilbur Ross, or someone on his team, was saying Trump's going to be more useful to us in the long run than he is to let him flounder and fail now. And it is, if you pay attention to what Trump's saying about Gaza and recognizing the capital of Israel as Jerusalem and annexing the Golan Heights, recognizing that as part of Israel, then it's really, geopolitically working out in their favor to have bailed Trump out of a lot of his debt, 30 years ago. The extent to which Trump is going to fix anything is, I think, going to be pretty limited. And, we might get some small wins here or there, but I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's going to be hard for him to really push the envelope with regards to the Zog control. I don't think he will.
What do you think the extent to where he prevented us from going too far down the path we were going? Do you think he's at least good for that?
Yeah, I think he was head and shoulders better than Kamala. Obviously, Joe Biden, I think, is the worst president that we've probably had in the past 100 years, honestly. He was fucking awful. But it's kind of like like you're just kind of stuffing the bullet hole full of gauze. You're not really doing surgery to pull the bullet out of the wound. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I definitely like the Doge stuff, and that's a thing too that confuses me about Elon. Like, I can't figure out if Elon is a based good guy, or he's part of the bigger scheme to enslave everybody, New World Order, like that Germany style stuff you were talking about the other night. Because with the whole, he's got his Tesla cars. And the thing about those electric cars, and they can turn that car on and off whenever they want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that car is a smart car that is connected to the Internet of Things, and you tweet something wrong or you do whatever, and that car doesn't start in the morning, doesn't leave your driveway. You're being imprisoned in your own house because you're behaving inappropriately.
Or they're looking for you. Or you're
or they're looking for you. Or or you've used, like, I've listened to like a lot of think tank stuff on this, and they can, I think it was called like geofencing or something, some term they have, where it's like with the global warming, blah blah blah. They think we can keep people in certain little areas, and this will be good for the environment, right? They're not traveling as much, and we can dictate where you can go and what you can buy and so on and so forth, if we can control whether you can travel in your vehicle or not. And electric vehicles make that possible. So I have a hard time with Elon. I can't tell if he's good or bad, or he confuses me.
Wow. Man, make sure y'all hit the PayPal Cash App Super Chat, man. Y'all just gotta run down on all the Jewish crap y'all be wanting to talk about. Support the channel, man.
Yo, what up, Art?
Go ahead, man. What's up?
Oh man, nothing much, man. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised by this this Epstein thing being a nothing burger, by the cabinet, and then I just think about one of the first things Kash Patel said during whenever his name got floated out there. They said, "What does being in the FBI look like to you?" He said, "Prioritizing Israel." That's the first thing he said. So it's like, I think that anytime that anything goes on, when it's going to be the FBI involved, it's like whatever Israel got going on, they're going to be covered first.
Yeah, it's really, we don't have the right people in the right positions to be able to go after anything Epstein related.
And I think that their lives are at jeopardy too.
Do you mean like the cabinet picks?
Yeah, well, just anybody that goes against,
Oh yeah, for sure.
JFK.
I mean, Israel got rid of JFK supposedly because he was going to audit their nuclear program,
right?
Which they weren't supposed to have.
Yeah.
Wow.
But all they have to do is just run the right news story, make up some narrative, and the majority of people will buy it, and it'll go nowhere.
Yeah.
They could shoot Trump in the head and then call it radical Islamic terrorism.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, you can spin it however you want to.
Got to go to war with Iran.
T.R. McCoy, man, you got a echo, man. You gotta give her your echo. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see, man. That's crazy, man. A lot going on there. Let's get back to regularly scheduled programming.
Did you hear what I said about Robert Maxwell and printing our textbooks?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That doesn't shock me. I mean, I told you my mom's an author. She all the Jews are like, what was that? I forgot the publishing house she was signed to, but they were Jews.
Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time finding Juice Crew electricians.
They probably got a lot of them. They're probably at the top of that too. Probably at the top of that profession as well.
Yeah. The point I was making though is like they concentrate their energy. I mean, it's smart. It's very smart, but they concentrate their energy in professions that allow them to have the most amount of influence. So if you're like a carpenter, you ain't influencing shit. But if you work as a writer, then you can write a book or an article that gets read by thousands of people.
Editor. It was better to be an editor.
Yeah, if you can work your way up, for sure. But it's like if you're a banker and you can control the flow of money, you control every other industry. If you're a music executive, you can control what people hear or a radio magnate, you know, like Soros is buying up all these radio stations left and right, these local newspapers. It's like that's what they devote their time to, is things, jobs that have high return with little physical labor that allow the most amount of influence on society.
Also a judge or a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely judges and lawyers. Yeah, without a doubt. That's the legal system. Yeah.
You have to give it to them, though. They're pretty smart. They use sons to shape the world, I guess, to shape the U.S.
They do it everywhere they go, too. It's not just in America. They do this everywhere.
Yeah, Yakub was saying they do it in Europe, right?
It's nothing personal. Yeah, it's nothing personal. This is just what they do.
Yeah, I mean, look at the two largest religions in the world are both based on Judaism, Christianity and Islam. Like, what book do people talk about more than any book? The Holy Bible. Who wrote the Bible? A bunch of Jews crew.
Yep. That's the crazy part. They wrote the Bible.
Except like one guy. And then I think there was supposed to be one guy, might have been a non-Jew, but I think actually they just found out he was a Jewish crew.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, yeah. Yep. Christianity is just, man, that's crazy. They got you boxed in. They got you. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's like the thing about it. What are your alternatives? You either be like a tranny, gay, weird ass, leftist, delusional idiot, or what's the moral position to take? Oh, you'll be a Christian. Oh, what does that mean? You're a pro-Israeli, Zio-loving, self-hating, Jesus follower.
Continuing coverage tonight, it's been 19 months since 2 Birmingham firefighters were shot at Fire Station 9 in Norwood.
Interim Birmingham Police Chief Michael Pickett announced today the arrest of 22-year-old Damian McDaniel in that shooting. McDaniel's been charged with capital murder and the death of Jordan Melton and attempted murder in the shooting of Jamal Jones. McDaniel has already been charged in 2 mass shootings, and now police say he's charged in additional homicides. The death of Mia Nixon in January of 2024, and the murder for hire death of a UPS worker, Anthony Love Jr., on April 9th.
Now, new tonight, we are learning more about the legal road ahead for Damian McDaniel. CBS 42's Scott Minshaw joins us now live. You spoke with both defense and the prosecution in McDaniel's case today. Scott, what's next for this case?
Well, Carly, the next thing will be the arraignments for those 3 new murder charges announced today. That brings the total up to 14 murders that McDaniel is accused of. His attorney tells me that he plans to plead not guilty to all of them. John Robbins is lead counsel for accused mass shooter Damian McDaniel.
Everybody is entitled to a fair trial and a vigorous defense.
McDaniel is accused of murdering 14 people and committing 2 mass shootings in Birmingham, which is why District Attorney Danny Carr is pursuing the death penalty.
Are you seeking the death penalty in this case?
Yes.
During Tuesday's City Council meeting, Birmingham City Councilor Hunter Williams commented on the new charges.
To me, you're a terrorist, and I hope that wherever court this goes, that they seek the death penalty.
Robbins says there has been no evidence presented to support the charges against his client, but Carr says that evidence is coming.
We technically haven't had a trial yet, so we'll see when the trial comes.
We will do our own independent investigation, but we will review and see what the state believes they have, and we will build our defense that way.
Carr says the timeline of when these cases could go to trial is still unclear.
most of these cases will probably be tried separate. But at the end of the day, you know, a lot of that will go to the strategy of what the rules of evidence will allow, what the rules of criminal procedure will allow as it relates to which case get tried first. Are they tried together? Are they all relevant? Are they not relevant? You know, those are matters that we'll decide in court at some point later on.
Well, the community, I mean, the people of Birmingham, the people of this state, the people of our country, okay, needs to take a step back and let the judicial system handle this in court.
Yeah, Carly, Sherry, like I said earlier, the next step here is for McDaniel to appear in court for the arraignments for those 3 new murder charges that were announced today. Reporting in Birmingham, Scott Mitchell, CBS 42 News.
Just a son, man, with 14 murders in a year.
Now we want to head to Houston, Texas. Want to put up this live shot that we have there in the city. We do know that a judge there in Texas is now facing blowback following her decision to set bond for a man who's been charged with capital murder in the 2024 death of a Harris County deputy. This decision ultimately caught the attention of the national public, the Houston Police Officers Union, and the governor of Texas. For much more on this story and the outrage that follows, we're now joined by Fox 26 reporter Jade Fleury. Jade, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Again, a story that's capturing the nation's attention. What can you tell us?
Yeah, many people are wondering why Francis, who was charged with capital murder, was released on that bond. And we spoke with a defense attorney who says that Judge Ungar, the person overseeing this case, was not the person who set the bond, and that no one objected to the bond from the district attorney's office under the previous administration. One of 2 men charged with murder for the killing of a Harris County deputy allowed to be released on $1 million bond.
We're a little disappointed that he did have a bond. He's already demonstrated a propensity for violence.
Dramone Francis and his co-defendant Ronnie Palmer are accused of ambushing Deputy Fernando Esqueda in July of last year, leaving his car riddled with bullet holes, ultimately ending his life.
What we think happened was that because the co-defendant made bond, a very, very high bond, the officers were upset that he made bond.
The release of the suspect on bond has the Houston Police Officers Union calling Judge Hillary Ungar rogue and accusing her of an unforgivable betrayal of public safety. In a statement, the Police Officers Union said in part, the Houston Police Officers Union stands with our brothers and sisters at the Harris County Sheriff's Office in absolute outrage over Judge Hillary Ungar's indefensible decision to set bond for Dramone Francis, a man charged with the capital murder of Deputy Fernando Esqueda. This is not just a case of judicial incompetence. It's a disgraceful betrayal of public trust and a direct threat to every law-abiding citizen in Harris County.
So we're a little disappointed that people have concerns about a person who is a threat to the citizens of Houston, the county of Harris, and the state of Texas, being given the opportunity to get back out, potentially cause harm to someone else.
But to be angry with the judge for a bond that was reasonably set, that was set under the previous administration, that the judge didn't have anything to do with, that was not objected to by the previous administration, that's unfair.
Francis's co-defendant Ronnie Palmer did not appear in court on Thursday. His defense attorney saying it takes many resources to get a high-risk defendant from the jail to the courtroom. Palmer still remains in jail without bond. His next appearance is scheduled for May.
Bond after fucking ambushing and killing the cop. Wow. That is absolutely insane.
Continuing coverage.
That's absolutely insane.
Atlanta police now blame the deaths of 2 Atlanta teens last summer on a violent street gang in our community. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News at 5. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Just hours ago, APD announced they now have charged 7 people with the murders. Fox 5's Tyler Fingert is live at Atlanta Police Headquarters to tell us what we're finding out. Tyler?
Yeah, Courtney, good evening to you. Investigators say 2 13-year-olds were innocent victims caught in a gang retaliation shooting while celebrating a birthday.
The overall theme of this case
is grown men playing gangster.
Atlanta police say these are the innocent faces of gang violence in Atlanta. Two of them, 13-year-old boys Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman, were killed. And 11-year-old Dontavius Davis was wounded last July in a shooting on Spark Street. APD says Freeman was killed on his 13th birthday.
Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life.
During an afternoon news conference, investigators blamed the deadly shooting on a local rapper. They said the attack was in retaliation for the rapper entering a rival gang's territory to film a music video.
In the subsequent days, we saw homicides and shootings, and ultimately the deaths of two children as a result of his cowardly actions, and you know who you are.
Authorities say a high-ranking member of the Goodfellas gang who was incarcerated orchestrated the attack using a smuggled cell phone. Following those instructions, the suspects opened fire at an apartment complex where the three young teens were gathered to celebrate Freeman's birthday. Police say they weren't the targets.
These kids were innocent victims. So when we talk about the gang involvement, these two 13-year-olds and this 11-year-old, they didn't have a gang involvement.
Those arrested were identified as Keontae Sanders, Richard Hollis, Reginald Thomas, DeKeithion Mobley, Marcus Crawford, Tradon Crawford, and Ali Caldwell. The final two were arrested Tuesday. Police had some tough talk for those responsible.
Goodfellas Criminal Street Gang being one of the most hyper-violent gangs in the city of Atlanta. And we will pursue you relentlessly in making sure that we keep this city safe and suppressing violence.
And the investigation.
Look at what's going on in the black community. I mean, it is absolutely insane.
Like, this is nuts, you know? Just the amount of shooting and the number of people involved is bonkers. And it's not, and like, this is still, you know, obviously some of these cities being so heavily Sun population, now it's starting to look more and more like a Haiti type of environment. But it's still, you know, you still got glider tax money. You've still got some semblance of glider institutions. But with each passing year, it's just getting more and more of a buck wild type of thing. Like, how stupid. You're just going to drive a couple blocks over, shoot your little video, and then drive back, and then that's a reason to start shooting at each other.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. There's a reason to fucking
I mean,
kill.
I understand it, but it's just like when you look at it outside of it, it's like, wow, this is incredibly dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's no words to describe how shameful it is that these guys throw their lives away in the regular. Like, these guys, when they talk about prison reform, it's just so fucking retarded, man. How can you have prison reform when you have this? There's no fucking prison reform. There's no anything. None of the shit they talk about can happen with this. And this is in this type of behavior is just sunmen. That's why I say there are no solutions. There's none. You can't fucking fix this.
Right now, Atlanta police are questioning one man at headquarters. Fox 5's Christopher King is live in Southeast Atlanta with the latest. Christopher?
Courtney Russ, those shots broke out right here at this tire store. Police confirm the store owner was shot and killed here at the scene. Another man died at Grady. Police say it appears to involve a disgruntled employee. Atlanta police combed the scene of a deadly shooting. The gunfire erupted at this tire store on the 2900 block of Jonesboro Road.
It looks like there was a dispute that escalated into gunfire.
The shots broke out around 4 Thursday afternoon. Police say the store owner was shot and killed at the scene.
They located one male that was deceased, a second male that was shot. He was transported to Grady Hospital where he was pronounced deceased from his injuries.
Investigators are working to piece together exactly how and why the argument turned deadly. What Fox 5 can tell you is police confirm the shooting involved a disgruntled employee. Investigators say the store owner's son was also involved. They aren't saying what his role was. They confirm investigators are questioning the store owner's son.
We do have a third person that is detained at headquarters that we believe shot the decedent that is here on scene.
I am devastated.
Musa Assam runs a tire distribution business. The store owner was one of his favorite customers.
This is a guy who used to come with a smile all the time. He used to be really jolly, good, happy.
He says the store owner was more than a business associate.
This like somebody so close, like a customer, a family.
He more than a friend. He's our family. He more than blood. He's someone we grew up with.
Clevette Jordan says the store owner was a generous man, always willing to help a neighbor.
You come down, you need help. Pull up, that man gonna give you a tie.
Here's another look at the scene where it happened. So far, police are not releasing a motive and they're not releasing the names of the people involved. Now, this is a developing story. Stay with Fox 5 on air and online for the very latest. For now, we're live in Southeast Atlanta. Christopher King, Fox 5 News.
I'm so sorry for the loss of life there. Christopher, thanks so much.
We are learning disturbing details about the murder of CAL FIRE Captain Becky Marodi.
The information is coming from an arrest warrant for her wife, Yolanda Marodi, who's the focus of an international manhunt. Our Tony Shin's live at the sheriff headquarters in Kearney Mesa with the very latest on this investigation. Tony.
Yeah, Phil and Christina, let me tell you, we are getting a lot of new information about this case from this arrest warrant. You know, part of this horrific attack was actually caught on surveillance video. At one point, it shows the CAL FIRE captain pleading for her life, and investigators say that video also shows exactly who killed her.
A heart-wrenching moment on February 18th as fellow firefighters salute a flag-draped gurney just hours after the violent attack the night before that took the life of CAL FIRE captain Becky Marodi. According to this arrest warrant, sheriff's investigators say at around 9 p.m. on February 17th, Marodi's mother called 911, stating that she found her daughter suffering from multiple stab wounds, including her neck, chest, and stomach. Paramedics tried to resuscitate Marodi, but couldn't save her. One of them recognized Marodi as a CAL FIRE captain based in Riverside County. Lorena Marodi told detectives that her 49-year-old daughter was married to 53-year-old Yolanda Marodi, but a week earlier, Becky decided to end their marriage. Lorena also gave investigators surveillance video from the home security system on Rancho Villa Road, where Becky had lived with Yolanda. The video showed Becky running across the patio just after 8 p.m., yelling out, "Yolanda, please, don't want to die." Yolanda then replied, "You should have thought about that before." The video also shows Yolanda standing in front of the CAL FIRE captain with what appeared to be a knife in her right hand. Blood could also be seen on Yolanda's arms, and Yolanda could be heard telling Becky to go inside the home. Then at about 8:20 p.m., video at the front door showed Yolanda gathering pets and some luggage and loading them into a silver Chevy Equinox. She had changed her clothing and was last seen on surveillance video about an hour later driving into Mexico. On February 20th, an acquaintance of Yolanda told investigators that Yolanda sent her a text saying, "Becky came home and told me she was leaving me. She met someone else. All the messages were lies. We had a big fight and I hurt her. I'm sorry."
Mexico has a pretty elaborate license plate reader system and camera system.
Bill Garcia is a private investigator who is not connected to this case. He says Yolanda is desperate and wants to get as far away from the U.S. as possible, especially because of her prior criminal history that includes stabbing to death her former husband in the early 2000s. He believes Yolanda is most...
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, I don't want to, throw anybody under the bus, but let's call a red flag a red flag.
Telling you, man. Jeez. I wonder if the transgender person knew that. The firefighter, the fire chief.
Mm. That's wild.
God damn. killed her husband, and then she killed her transgender lover. This woman's a menace.
Most likely getting help from family or friends in Mexico. But he also believes her time is running out.
It's a place that people think they can go and literally disappear. It's not so much the case anymore. So I don't think she's going to be out there very long before she's captured.
Now, also, according to this arrest warrant, Captain Marodi told Yolanda during that attack several times to call 911 so she could get medical help, but Yolanda never did. Right now, investigators here in San Diego are working very closely with authorities in Mexico to try to find Yolanda as soon as possible. Reporting live in Kearney Mesa, I'm Tony Shin. Phil and Christina will send it back to you.
Damn.
Emotion filled a South Bay courtroom after a repeat drunk driver is sentenced for killing a teenage girl and her mother's boyfriend.
Today, the 46-year-old defendant learned her fate and will now have to spend 3 decades in prison for murder. Our Tony Shin is live outside the courthouse in Chula Vista, where family members gave their victim impact statements today. Tony.
Yeah, you know, Phil and Christina, you may remember during her trial, Baltise never really showed a lot of remorse. Today was a different story.
Wiping away tears, Taish Baltise listened as family members of 39-year-old Brian McKee and 15-year-old Jessica Talamonte described the grief that will last the rest of their lives.
This devastating event has shattered our family and changed our lives forever. No matter how many times we visit the grave or how many times I go to therapy for this, my family will never accept the fact that they are gone forever.
Aaliyah Arroyo is Jessica's older sister. She was there when Jessica and Brian were struck and killed by Baltise, who had a blood alcohol level twice the legal limit. Brian was the boyfriend of Jessica's mother. His sister talked about his impact on their family.
We didn't grow up with parents. My brother was our parent. So we now have 6 sisters with no father figure.
On the night of June 22nd, 2022, Brian and Jessica were walking home from a convenience store in National City when they were struck by a car driven by Baltise, who had been drinking earlier that evening with her co-workers in Mission Valley.
She made the unfathomably selfish choice to
Dang.
get behind the wheel of her car and drive after drinking for 3 hours.
This was also her second DUI. Despite her previous criminal history,
Jesus
friends
Christ.
of Baltise pleaded
She got a
for
little
leniency.
smirk on her face. She got a little smirk on her face. Man, these women, these some wicked women out here, man. Jeez.
Some, you know, burritos are crazy.
Damn.
Friends of Baltise pleaded for leniency.
Give her the opportunity to redeem herself.
I know I'm the last person that you want to hear from right now after the agony that I've caused your family, and I don't blame you at all.
Baltise also read a statement apologizing to both families.
No parent should ever have to bury their child, and as a mother myself, I cannot fathom the pain and grief that you have.
Prior to you,
You don't seem sad at all.
made a series of disastrous mistakes.
Ultimately, the judge gave Baltise the maximum sentence, 30 years to life. Jessica's mother spoke to us outside the courtroom.
Justice has finally been served for my daughter and boyfriend, and I'm just so happy.
Now, Baltise does have the opportunity to file for an appeal. If she does choose to do that, it'll have to be done within the next 60 days. Reporting live in Chula Vista, I'm Tony Shin.
That's another thing about white people. Like, well, so basically, like, what the fuck, yo? Like, why she get, like, everybody gets to file appeal. I want a new trial. Like, I mean, like,
Yeah, sometimes you just get like, we just need to be comfortable with punishing people. For some reason, our system is so scared to make a mistake that you end up making it worse.
oh,
It's exhausting and stupid.
Tonight, we are hearing from the Metro police officers who arrested Eric Brown last week.
Brown is accused of sexually assaulting a student at the University of Houston campus earlier this month. Brown was found February 18th at a Metro rail station just east of downtown.
Orko Manna joining us live there now. Orko, what are officers?
Shout out to Muramasa, man. He says no protest, no Benjamin Crump, no Al Sharpton. Facts, man. Especially now for this case. This fucking son, man, was terrorizing the University of Houston and finally caught his ass.
Telling you about that arrest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tell me this was a team effort. An officer spotted Brown here at this Metro rail station thanks to surveillance footage. And in a matter of minutes, a group of officers got here and arrested Brown. Safety on Metro Transit, also a top priority for the mayor.
He's sitting there on the platform with a big, bright red jacket.
This is the Metro surveillance footage that tipped police off to Eric Brown's location.
This is what it takes for a sudden man. I mean, just running around the campus raping girls to get caught. This is what it takes for me to get caught. And this is the brazenness he lives his life with, even after doing that. Unbelievable. Like he's standing out in front, like he it's almost like he's trying to be caught, right? Doesn't it feel like that?
I just don't think he cares.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. I don't think he gives a shit. It's like if he gets caught, then it's good. Then that means he'll be warm. He'll be warm inside the camp.
It's like nothing about the system scares him, so he just doesn't care.
Right.
Red jacket.
This is the Metro surveillance footage that tipped police off to Eric Brown's location. He's seen walking along a rail station east of downtown Houston around 2:45 on February 18th. Minutes later, Brown gets down on the ground with multiple officers surrounding him. They then take him into custody.
I'm just glad I was there. I'm glad that we can get him.
Officer Brendan McDonough says his partner saw Brown on the camera feed and alerted officers through dispatch. McDonough in the downtown tunnels at the time, sprinting to make sure Brown could be apprehended.
It was like pretty much like a race against time, because the last thing we want to do is for him to get away. And especially that area, I mean, there's a lot of places that you can kind of disappear to.
Fabian Vega, a rookie officer who helped with the arrest, says Metro was already well aware that Brown was a high priority.
Our investigation division put out a bolo, which is a be on lookout, with his description, his name.
According to court records, a University of Houston student says Brown raped her at knife point in the Welcome Center garage on campus back on February 7th. Brown, at one point detained, was released due to what officials said was a miscommunication between UH police and the district attorney's office. Brown finally arrested after several days on the run.
It felt good knowing that we found Mr. Eric Brown and to be able to put him behind bars.
These four officers not only proud.
That's the A team right there, cuz. You only speak Spanish? We got that guy. Oh, you need clear directions? We got that guy.
Full effect.
Oh, you want to get ratchet? We got that
guy. Surprised they don't break out and dance like they did in that fucking shit in New York. So pathetic.
This is absolutely terrifying, man. And they're acting like they did something. That guy that was an easy arrest, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Suspect went willingly.
Shout out to Cap One, man. Salute to Cap One, man. Cap One in the building, man. Make sure y'all support this channel, man. Support the mission, man. Salute to Darren, man. Darren says Houston Black versus Brown.
To catch Brown, but excited to be part of a new safety initiative.
Police presence.
Earlier this week, Metro and Houston Mayor John Whitmire announcing Metro Now to bolster safety on Metro Transit. What exactly does that look like?
Then we're going to have HPD backing them up. We'll actually have HPD officers on the transit system.
How many more officers, and when is that starting?
That is being coordinated between the chief of Metro and the chief of HPD.
Rookie officer Lauren Broussard ready to do more work after helping arrest Brown.
We're hiring officers, more officers. The new chief that we have, he's making it his mission as well as our mission to be visible on the train, to be visual everywhere that Metro goes.
The plan for more security on Metro services also includes more money for more cameras and lighting at rail stations like this one. The University of Houston also telling us that they're doing more security patrols around rail stations as well. Reporting live in Houston tonight, Orca Manna, KHOU 11 News.
Jesus.
Houston's probably my least favorite city.
Why is that?
It's just so expansive and it's all flat. Probably that or New Orleans. But New Orleans has good food.
True. But Houston used to be nice until all those liberals got there from Cali.
Well, Houston used to be nice until Hurricane Katrina people got there. And then that's when shit went south.
Yeah, all those sunmen from New Orleans went there.
Yeah.
A Lyft driver was on the job this morning when Philadelphia police say he was carjacked and shot. Happened in Spring Garden. And tonight, one suspect has been arrested. Police are still searching for another. Action News reporter Brianna Gallagher is live at the scene with the latest. Brianna.
Yeah.
Yes, Rick. Well, this is where police tell us a 58-year-old Lyft driver was shot and carjacked while on the job. Luckily, he was able to escape and run 2 blocks down Fairmount Avenue, where officers picked him up and rushed him to the hospital. Now, officials tell us 17-year-old suspect is in custody tonight. However, one suspect is still on the run.
That can be a very dangerous job to be picking up total strangers, especially at 2:30 or 2:40 in the morning in a secluded location.
Police say the Lyft driver was just doing his job when his next ride brought the 58-year-old driver to the 900 block of Fairmount Avenue early this morning. The pickup location was in a dark, secluded area under an overpass. Officials say when the riders got into his car, they demanded his wallet while threatening to shoot him. As the driver tried driving away, police say he was shot twice.
He's definitely shot in the chest and the arm. He just wasn't bleeding heavily. There's no blood trail. And we know the ballistic evidence more than likely is inside of his vehicle.
Luckily, the driver was able to escape his car. Police say he walked 2 blocks to 11th and Fairmount, where officers rushed him to the hospital. We spoke with people who utilize rideshare apps to get around in the city.
I use it a lot. I use it in the morning to get to work, to get home from work, and sometimes if it's overnight, I may have to use it too. And that could be scary as a woman.
I will go on an Uber at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I would go with somebody else with me, but never by myself.
They agree something needs to be done to make it a safer experience.
We now live in a really bad place. We do. And so do I think that people should be doing this at this point and feeling that they're safe? Absolutely not.
That's not good because the drivers, they helping us out by giving us a ride. So we should be respectful to them and their property as well.
Now, police say the 2 suspects, they fled in the driver's Chevy Malibu. Officials picked up that 17-year-old suspect and arrested him in Jersey City, which is where they found the vehicle. Once again, that other suspect is still on the run. We're live in Spring Garden. Brianna Gallagher.
I mean, like, so those kids did this, right? Like, what was the, like, how much money do an Uber driver carry on them? Like, it's all done through the app.
Probably none.
Yeah, it's all through the app.
Money? Might have like $20 in tips. Maybe.
I can't imagine paying every day for an Uber ride to and from work. That's got to be insanely expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people do that, though. Like, I guess I mean, I don't know, man. They might
They probably never sat down and done the math.
Yeah.
It's
Very
like $50
rich.
a day.
Yeah. Very
I
expensive.
did that. I did it one day. To go to work was like 40. To come back was like 40. So it was like 80.
Wow.
You'll
Wow.
go broke if you do that every day. And that was one day. So imagine every day.
Wow.
A 64-year-old Trenton pastor is behind bars tonight, accused of drugging and sexually assaulting a teenager. Mercer County prosecutors said today that Charles Brinson here was arrested last week, just days after the alleged victim came forward to police. This is not the first time he's been facing this kind of accusation. Brinson was also arrested in 2008, stemming from allegations that he assaulted a 15-year-old boy. New Jersey correspondent Trish Hartman with the latest from Trenton tonight.
The allegations are disturbing. Investigators say Charles Brinson, the bishop and pastor of this small Trenton church, allegedly drugged and sexually assaulted a 16-year-old at his home earlier this year.
To know that we have somebody like that close that's doing things around and we didn't know, it's kind of freaky.
People who live near this small neighborhood church reacted to the news of the pastor's arrest. 64-year-old Charles Brinson is charged with sexually assaulting a minor who was incapacitated. His name and photo are all over the building and vehicle for Brinson Memorial Church Incorporated on Brinton Avenue in Trenton. Investigators say the assaults happened in January and February at Brinson's home in Trenton, just down the street from the church. The 16-year-old told police Brinson put a bottle with a clear, unknown substance inside up to the victim's nose, which caused the victim to pass out prior to the alleged assaults. The victim was examined at the hospital after the second reported incident. Brinson, who uses the title bishop at his church, has faced similar charges before. In 2008, he was arrested and charged with felony contact with a minor, wanted for allegedly sexually assaulting a 15-year-old from Philadelphia. He pleaded guilty to one count of corruption of a minor and served 4 years probation. We spoke with one woman who said she's lived near the church all her life and was shocked to find out about the charges.
I've never seen him come out and do like anything like for the community, like, you know, come out and introduce himself like to the residents or anything. Like, so it was kind of like.
Have you ever met him?
No. And I've lived around here my whole life.
Brinson is locked up in Mercer County. He has a detention hearing scheduled for next week. Investigators are asking anyone with information about this case or anyone who thinks they may have been victimized by Brinson to contact the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office. Reporting in
I bet that church, that whole church, was just to feed his fucking his need for underage victims.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of churches are like that. Even if it's not underage, there's a lot of, sex stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you think about it, like, if you're the pastor, you're in a very privileged position of power in the community. Like, all the men of the community are bringing their women to you for guidance. You know what I mean? It just kind of creates that natural sort of dynamic for this to happen.
Yeah, that's how you hear stories about a pastor sleeping with a guy's wife and all that.
Crazy. Jeez. My God, man.
Our other top story tonight, a story Fox 5 has been following for months. A Manassas mother, soon to go on trial for second-degree murder, had those charges dropped today.
But prosecutors say the case is far from over. Fox 5's Homa Bash live in the newsroom tonight with the latest. Homa.
Guys, good evening. LaToya Crabb's second-degree murder charge was dismissed in court today, but the Commonwealth's attorney says that is so they can bring the case to a grand jury next week and upgrade the charge to first-degree murder. LaToya is accused of killing her estranged husband at their Manassas home last October. She has claimed since day one that it was in self-defense. I spoke to her mother after today's developments. She tells me she believes the upgraded charges are in an effort to get LaToya to take a plea deal.
She's not going to, because she's innocent. We absolutely know they have nothing that could come out to say that she's guilty. We are confident that they do not have anything.
Now, this all happened on October 21st inside the Prince William County home Latoya and Curtis Crabb shared with their 3 young children, 5, 4, and 2 years old. Latoya's family says she told Curtis she wanted a divorce, received threatening text messages from him, and that a knife was allegedly found next to his body. The trial on the second-degree murder charge was supposed to begin in just 2 weeks. Now, prosecutors believe that Latoya's actions were premeditated, reportedly related to some deleted Ring camera footage from inside the home, which is why they're taking the case to the grand jury and hoping for a first-degree murder charge.
She just wished it would be over. It's tough that she was put in a position to either be killed or to go to jail.
Latoya had been in a Prince William County jail since the fall. She was released on bond last Friday. Her mom telling me her 3 children will not leave her side. Today, the Commonwealth's attorney telling Fox 5 that she is out of jail and off any bond requirements, and that is over their objection, Angie.
Jeez.
To stop.
Our other top.
Jeez. Whacked her husband.
Pure evil,
huh? Oh, man. Wow.
Breaking news first at 6 tonight. 51-year-old Brent Fung is under arrest tonight, accused of attacking a couple in their car with an axe in East Memphis earlier this week. Fung is charged with aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, and vandalism. News Channel 3 showed you video of the attack caught on camera by another driver. Police say a couple was involved in an accident with Fung, and he attacked them with an axe, hitting their vehicle several times and then driving off. The couple was not hurt.
Damn, Brent.
He is believed to be the first student to be expelled from the.
Damn, Brent Fung. That tiger was about it, man.
See.
Damn.
At a tire shop in southeast Atlanta. Atlanta News First reporter Yasmin Alston is live tonight outside Atlanta Police Headquarters. And Yasmin, investigators say 2 men were killed in all this?
Jeez.
That's right. We know that the owner of the tire shop and another person were killed in this shooting. And we also know that the tire shop owner's son was brought in for questioning to try to figure out what happened.
He's somebody we grew up with in our neighborhood.
Clevette Jordan was shocked and hurt to hear of a deadly shooting at the Southeast Atlanta tire shop. She and many others stood along Jonesboro Road as Atlanta police investigated the incident that killed 2 people.
A dispute that escalated into gunfire, and we're determining the roles of everybody involved.
Investigators say 3 people were involved in the dispute: the owner of the tire shop, his son, and a third person in what police call a disgruntled employee situation. The tire shop owner and the third person involved are dead. The owner's son was detained and questioned, though police only have a preliminary statement of what may have happened and who shot who. Several people on the scene Thursday say they knew the tire shop owner well.
That man give you a shut off, you come down and you need help. Pull up, that man gonna give you a tire.
This group of men say they did work with the tire shop owner and came to the scene as soon as they got the call of what happened.
Who would cheer up our guys at the warehouse all the time. Like, you know, his presence just made a lot of difference every single day.
And tonight we are still working to learn the identities of the 2 men who were killed in this shooting. Live in downtown Atlanta, Yasmin Alston.
Jeez. Jeez.
What do you think happened there, Rock?
The employee shot the dad who owned the business, and the son killed him.
But why do you think he shot the owner?
Said disgruntled employee.
Oh.
Disgruntled. Probably fired or told him to leave or something like that.
Yeah. Or didn't pay him some shit.
Definitely
Yeah,
told him to
something
leave.
happened. Yeah, something happened. And it was up. Like you get deadly so quick, man. These things get deadly. Like immediately when you're dealing with sons, man.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Fong, man. Mr. Fong was ready to get crucial out there.
That guy had an axe, yo. What the fuck?
Well, man, he was ready to get it. He was ready to go off. He wasn't. He was like, "Shit, you got the right. You got the right one, motherfucker. I ain't like the other tigers. I ain't like the other tigers. This a. You picked the right one, my man. Wow. Oh yeah. Let me see this. This woman. This woman. If y'all remember, hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Mr. Fong. Let's see. All right. Where are we at? Okay. Please take this. Please take the $7 challenge via PayPal, Cash App, the Super Chat. We need you guys' support towards the end of the month, man. Support the channel, man. Take the $7 challenge. Let's see. Where we at? Right here.
Today, we are blessing the family who had faced a real devastating issue by losing their kids. And we in the city decided
No fucking way.
to do something good for them and preserving their dignity and respect. And especially for the kids, to make sure they have a better future. We put in food for them. Everything we've done brand new, from windows, furnace, painted the house, put in new flooring.
Wow. Look at all of this. I'm just so appreciative. You like it? Yeah. Yay! That's all that matters.
We can't do nothing to compensate for the loss of the kids, but it's at least a good start to cope with the situation that she's been through. Today, we are blessing the family who had.
I lost the one who made me a mother. I lost a 2-year-old. I'm dead inside. It hurts. I feel like my heart is breaking. And I have 2 more kids to live for.
It's been a long journey for Tatiana Williams with an even tougher battle ahead. She spent the last 3 months living in a van with her children.
And I regret having to sleep out there so bad. I tell them I'm sorry, but I tried. I tried to keep hotels. I tried to pay people to stay there. It wasn't working for me.
1 a.m. on Monday morning, they parked at the Hollywood Greektown Casino parking garage in below freezing temps. Overnight, the car ran out of gas, and the next day, her 9-year-old son was not breathing.
I tried to give him CPR, and I was just giving him CPR. I just kept saying, Petty, don't leave me. Don't leave me. I lost the one who made me a mother.
After a friend helped take him to the hospital, her 2-year-old daughter was also found unresponsive. Both were later pronounced dead from what appears to be hypothermia.
She didn't even get to live her life. She didn't get to do nothing. She lost her life because I had to sleep in her car.
In a press conference, the mayor and city leaders confirmed that Tatiana did call the city's homeless response team back in November, but nothing ever came of it.
At least as far as we've been able to determine so far, the family never called back again for service. And as far as we've been able to tell, our homeless staff never proactively reached out to say, what happened with your situation? Was it resolved?
Mayor Duggan is now calling for a review of the city's homeless services, while Tatiana is now in a shelter and her kids are with relatives.
It took my 2 kids to die for y'all to help me. It just don't work like that.
After a friend helped take him to the hospital, her 2-year-old daughter was also found unresponsive. Both were.
I lost it.
So she got a free house, y'all. What do y'all think, man? What's y'all thoughts?
Is that the same woman? This is all the same storyline?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Your shit is echoing again to y'all. Yeah.
It's sad that the kids died. Very sad.
It's sad that some people don't need children. This woman doesn't need children.
No one's even asking basic questions like, what were you doing? Why did you leave them in the car?
She was living in the car. She
So
was
she was in the
homeless.
car while her child froze to death?
What it sounds like.
We shouldn't be rewarding these people. Like she should, like if all her kids starved or froze or whatever, that's nature sorting itself out.
If she was in the car, then there's no way in hell she should be able to get off.
Well, man,
What if she wasn't in the car? What if she left the kids in the car to freeze?
Well, yeah, I mean, either way, she should fucking face consequences.
But I mean, if it's freezing weather outside, there's not much you can do, and you're homeless. So
You can use your own body heat to warm your child.
yeah, but it's freezing cold outside. That's not enough.
Do you,
Have like
do you
8
think
baby
she
jackets.
tried to do that?
I think she tried, but again, it's freezing cold.
You don't think she would have mentioned, I held my child close to me and prayed he would survive? She left that part out of her story?
I don't know, but she did call the homeless center. They said. So I mean,
Yeah, once.
she tried that.
I'm just not sure why you would give her the benefit of the doubt.
Well,
No, I'm
sisters
just
like
saying-
this just live off of services their whole fucking life and just make more and more kids.
Yeah, she's
No, I'm
gonna
just
replace
saying.
those 2 kids fast.
I'm just saying it's sad that the kids died.
Oh yeah, definitely sad that the kids died. But did she do everything in her power to make sure that they didn't die? Because I mean, it can be cold, and you can have sleeping bags and jackets. And I get it's cold. I'm not saying that it's not cold. I'm just saying like you're living in your van, right? I mean, you know it's cold. I mean, it's wintertime. So
She probably has a sub 70 IQ and just can't figure anything out for herself.
yeah, but she's a mother. A mother instinct.
But
Over
some don't have that.
IQ.
Some people are so stupid they don't have that.
Clearly.
I'm sure she's one of them. But we create environments where people like her can proliferate.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was her fault or not. I just think it's tragic the kids died.
I think they deserve justice.
So what, you think she should be put in jail?
Yeah, that would be a good start, yeah.
Well, if you could, what would you charge her with?
Negligence.
Negligence? Oh, okay. I could see that.
You charge her with negligence?
She was negligent.
Let's see, Michigan mom. Let's see if we can find this in see what people are saying about this, man. Everybody hit the like button, man. Everybody hit the like button, man. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. Let me see what they're talking about on social media. What the blacks are saying.
Yeah, hit the like. It's free.
Isn't she
Yeah,
the
really
same
helps
one
a
that
lot.
was? Isn't she the same one that was twerking like a few days later?
Yeah,
Is that the same
yeah,
woman?
that's her. Yeah, that's her. That's her.
Oh, for real? She was twerking? What?
They're living on recruit mode. A man would have been thrown in jail for child neglect. They brought this bitch a house.
That is true, though. If it was a man, we'd be in jail.
They be investigating the hell out of it. They wouldn't just take it like, oh, they froze to death.
Yeah, exactly. If it was a man, forget about it.
This is her after the kids died. Yeah, this is just it's a horrible look.
Everybody grieves differently, Ock.
I know, I'm telling you. Obviously.
Hell no. Not now my attitude towards her changed. At first I had some sympathy, but now it's like hell no. Fuck this bitch.
And so,
So
Seriously.
if she left her kid in a hot car and they died, would you have sympathy for her?
Left them in a hot car? Well, I mean, it depends because I never understood like if she left them for 4 hours, okay, that's too much. But I just never understood how could a parent leave a kid in the car? Like you can't see? Like I wouldn't have too much sympathy there.
So why have sympathy for her if she let him die when it's cold, but not when
Well,
it's hot?
well, no, because in the freezing cold, there's not much you can do. If it's freezing cold, I mean, even if you hug them real tight, you're still gonna be cold as hell. I mean, I'm
It's the
saying this
same. It's the same scenario.
nah,
It's
because at least
actually
in the heat, you can at least turn on the AC. You can get them out the car, but to
Well, yeah,
forget them,
she had the car on and she let it run out of gas.
what do you mean? This lady?
Yeah, she was had the car running. She didn't think ahead. It ran out of gas.
Well, what if she didn't have money for gas? I mean, she's already homeless.
Then whose fault is that?
Nah, I mean, you could say it's her fault. I'm just saying that it's
no, it
different.
is her fault.
It's different
okay,
because at
cool
least in
cat.
the heat.
She's twerking in the video, man. You think she really is?
No,
She
that's
has
what
a
I'm
care in the
saying.
world that her kids are dead.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like whatever I felt for her is out the window. I mean, saying that is like, geez, lady, are you serious?
It's actually even worse than leaving your kid in a hot car because there's been cases where, for example, like the dad decided to take the kid supposedly to daycare and the kid fell asleep in the back. He had to go to work. He forgot. Therefore, the kid gets left like in the hot car strictly by accident. But this woman called the shelter or whatever one time in November and never called back at all after that. I mean, it's so easy to get help if you're a mother of four or something. You know,
Hmm.
Yeah. If
there's
you're a
no
man,
way that
forget it.
this should have ever happened.
You're a mother of one. She has
Yeah.
4 kids. Yeah, there's no way that somebody ain't gonna help her not sleep in a van, even if she got to sleep in a shelter. And okay,
Yeah.
she don't want to sleep in the shelter, but you don't want your kids to freeze either. So this one says, glad they was able to help her out. This should be an example to not only Detroit but all of America of how bad the economy truly really is, how bad the shelter system truly really is. I wish they could have done this for her before she lost her babies.
Truly, really?
Truly, really.
Is that a woman making that comment?
Of course.
Yeah, there you
Dumb
go.
bitch.
This one says she couldn't have taken those kids to a warmer part of the world. I mean, she's homeless. What kind of ties could she possibly have? Yeah, he took them to Florida, man, where it wasn't freezing. Throw down to Florida or some shit.
Just go south.
Yeah, exactly. This is crazy, man. Like 2 kids froze to death in the same. It was cold as shit. It was that's a brutal death, man. For those kids, man. Fuck.
Yeah, that's a terrible way to go to freeze to death. That's a terrible way.
Jeez.
R.I.P. to them
I
at
mean,
least.
you would think at least with the 2 year old, she would like wrap him up inside of her like coat with her body heat. I don't think she did that even.
Said the mother was found in the parking lot of a casino in Detroit. Then she played victim so she wouldn't go to jail because she didn't have money to take care of her kids. But they forgot that she spent all of her money on slot machines playing all night at the casino. I, that would
Damn.
I don't know. That gotta I didn't hear that. I can't confirm that. I cannot confirm that she spent all night playing slots at the machines in the casino. Well, Her kids froze to
And
death in the car.
they probably would have showed surveillance cameras of her doing that if that was true.
Yeah. He said, "Give me a freaking break. She shouldn't be rewarded for her irresponsible actions. She should go to jail for negligence." Yeah, I gotta see that. I gotta see that. That yeah uh yeah. Grandma was inside the car. The kids weren't alone in the car. The grandmother was inside the car. Where was she at? I don't know where she was at. Yeah, but if she was in that casino, man, that's just unforgivable, man.
Yeah, for real. If she was in there playing blackjack or something while her kids were in there, then nah, she should get a first degree murder case right there.
The house is going to be in shambles. Those kids ain't going to do nothing good for themselves or the community, and the cycles are going to continue. Where are all those baby daddies? And let's not forget, she's going to have another child too. I can put money on it. Oh yeah,
That's
she's
got to
gonna
be a white dude.
definitely gonna have another child. Yeah, yeah, that's a
And
fake.
I think it bears repeating that we live in a system that encourages and provides for some women to have lots of kids without a father. Like, what are we talking
Yeah.
about here?
Yeah,
That was created in the 60s. Like they could get welfare, but the father couldn't be in the house, etc., etc.
I wonder if that house was built like in a really nice neighborhood, and now those people have to live next door to them.
of course.
That's
Wherever that
crazy.
house is, um, the neighbors are getting this bitch. Like, just imagine she gonna be throwing parties and shit. She gonna have you see she gonna the type of men she gonna bring around are gonna be like, you know, Pookie and Ray Ray type niggas and shit.
Yep.
Her kids are gonna be feral. They're gonna be like roaming the neighborhood and shit without no supervision. She said she had two other relatives in the car with her, in the van with her. It wasn't just her kids; it was her kids and two other relatives. So she knows she gonna have a lot of relatives staying at the house. She just got a house. Every nigga who come home from jail and her family gonna stay there. Yo, she fucked the neighborhood up by herself.
Yep. Just by showing up too. And she was twerking a few days after the kids died. Like
Hmm.
that video, that was a couple of days after the kids died.
Yeah.
Damn, that's just cold. That's fucked
So
up.
too many black folks still think it's the government's job to save our women from their selfish decisions. People asking why didn't they give her a house before, as if she didn't knowingly choose to lay down with a man who couldn't do nothing for her. Said, what the fuck? So backwards. Imagine a man irresponsibility that involved the death of two children, him getting sympathy and a house. All this is doing is enabling her and those like her to keep popping up children they cannot afford.
I
Yeah,
would really like the news to
Bingo.
do a follow up after like 1 year to see the state of the house, see where they're at.
Oh yeah, she gonna be complaining that nobody came and fixed it, or
She's probably gonna
yeah,
be gone.
this is a very demoralizing situation. Very sad.
Yo, when my homeboy was homeless, he had a daughter, and all the homeless shelters said that they were only taking women and children. So he would
No
they
shit.
yeah, he was fucking homeless until I let him stay on the couch until he got back on his feet. It's just crazy
you
how if you're a
lucky.
man, they won't help you.
You lucky. Most niggas that come stay on somebody's couch never get back on their feet.
I'll give him credit. He got back on his feet.
That's good, man. Salute to him, man. Most niggas I know, they homeless for a reason.
Yo, is
And they
that
out
but
Yeah.
for a reason.
he
That's the
got
dude that'll
divorced
kill
though.
you.
He got divorced and the woman took all his shit. Like that's one thing. That's one of the reasons men are
Mm,
homeless is because divorce. Because a woman will take half your fucking paycheck and then expect you to pay child support with half a paycheck, like and support yourself.
Yeah, I
So
know.
I could understand.
So
I understood the situation. Like, yeah,
I'm just curious, like, I mean, she literally, under her supervision, her two kids died. Like, there's no charges at all. She's completely scot free.
Yep. She got a
It
house.
appears so.
she got a house. I mean, shit. It appears like she's home free. Literally home free. She got a free house, so home free.
That's
Wow.
insane, man. Just because she cried on TV. I mean, that's crazy.
70% of black babies are born to unwed mothers. Why? Women
Yep.
prefer to have babies this way because the government will make sure he pays child support, and then the government will get them housing and food stamps and supplies and tax breaks. If a man had two children die in the cold, he would be in jail, and the rest of the kids would go into foster care.
Yeah, that's
Women
true.
have no penalties for their poor decisions, and now she gets a free house.
Even the grandmother should be charged. She was there too. She's the adult too.
Yeah, the grandmother really flying under the radar with this one.
You can take the kids to the ER, right? That's true though. You can take the kids to the ER if they start showing signs of hypothermia. You can call
Yeah,
911. Hey,
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
well, let me guess, their phones were all dead too because they couldn't charge them because the car ran out of gas. I don't know, but she
Yeah.
wasn't there. But she turning tricks. I would respect her if she's out turning tricks to get some money. If she was in that damn casino though, god damn. Mm. He said, and she better not let that nigga over there. I do the moved on, man. He said, Exhibit A, this is another reason why women run from accountability. This is a man who would be in a jail cell. Women can do no wrong.
What are
Turning
the
this into a feel good story is just unfucking believable, bro. She's directly responsible for two of her children's death. Oh, that's Mr. Fantastic. Shout out to Mr. Fantastic.
I wonder who bought her house.
Who bought her the house?
Yeah, who is behind that?
Oh, some program. That there's plenty of programs out there.
Yeah, basically.
So it was. That's what I'm saying. Like she living in a major city, there were programs for her, man. There were programs for her. For some reason, she didn't take advantage of them.
All right, well, at this point, I believe she just did this all on purpose.
Damn, that's fucked up to do that on purpose. I mean, damn.
She just wanted. She didn't want those two kids no more. She wanted to lighten her load.
She figured she just went out and did her thing. If the kids die, we'll make the most of it.
It's just weird because she had said like I even tried to pay them to let me in, but it they didn't want me there. So she obviously said she obviously had money. If she said I even tried to pay them,
I
whoever
don't
she's
Mm,
know.
talking about.
Yeah, I don't know about a hotel turning away a mom and two kids when it's cold outside and she's got money supposedly. I don't see them saying
mm-mm,
no.
mm-mm.
I don't really believe that for a second.
Man, if a stranger came up to my house, a woman, and I see kids in her car, and she's asking me for like a blanket and pillow, I'm gonna give her everything, like all I
Yeah,
got to
for
give those
real.
kids. She can just
Ark,
go.
when you first covered this, that's what I said. I said if she had knocked on some random glider person's house, they would have helped her. I don't know Detroit. Maybe Detroit's different, but
Way different.
shit.
I wouldn't go knocking on no one's door at night because that shit's dangerous as hell.
Yeah, I'm not answering the door.
Yeah.
And I got the blicky in the hand.
Mm. Wow. He said, have they even proven yet that she wasn't in the car and not at the casino?
That's a good question.
But
Where the fuck was she?
fisherman, man, fisherman, you know you be locked up real quick because once that gets out that you shot some homeless woman trying to get help for her kids,
Oh, I didn't say I
knocking
would
on the
shoot
door.
her. I didn't say I would shoot her. I say I don't know who this is. If they come through this door, then they're getting it.
Wow, it's broad, man. Wow.
Real piece of shit, though.
Yeah, he's like congratulating her, killed her 2 kids. He's like, nice job. Here's the house for you. Makes them feel. It makes them feel better. It makes them feel good.
Yeah, basically.
They feel like
America,
they get to hold a higher moral high ground.
the history books are gonna. I mean, it's all on video, I guess. They're how America spiraled in the toilet bowl and eventually collapsed. But my God, it's gonna look weird to people studying this hundreds of years from now.
I'm a little more optimistic about that because I don't know. Maybe I'm dreaming about it, but I've been following a lot of the stories of AI, how it's how it's supposedly is going to change the world, and we're not going to have any choice but to like meld with it, with the chips and stuff. And I think that's going to like really, I think that's going to like increase the IQs of everybody. It's like how we have a phone in our hands. It's going to be like a brain implant in our brain to like keep up with AI. So I think that might have a big effect on society as a whole, even 20 years from
What are
now.
you talking about, though? What's going to increase people's IQ?
Stuff like Neuralink that they're working with, brain and computer interfaces. It's gonna like I think radically change how we like.
When you
I
say
honestly
we, what do
think
you
I
mean?
wouldn't be
Women like
surprised if
her?
we're gonna be cyborgs.
So you think she's gonna have Neuralink? This chick right here is gonna get Neuralink? Or chick like
Eventually,
her?
eventually, I think all of
Tell you
society
how it
will have it,
works, though, man.
even the lowest of the lowest.
Yeah, I don't think he's really got a good grasp on how that is gonna work out.
Yeah, man. Like she probably doesn't even have chat. She probably doesn't even use Chat GPT.
She probably can't get consistent phone signal.
Yeah, like it's
Well,
not gonna work like that.
yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm looking at a couple of decades down the road where
It still
in
don't
the
work.
beginning,
Ain't no fucking way, bro. I'm sorry. A couple
Do
decades down the road, they ain't putting chips in 100-something million people's brains.
Let me ask you this, bro.
People aren't going for chips in the brains.
Do everybody know how to use Microsoft Word, Excel? Do everybody know how to use fucking I mean, like,
yeah,
come on,
that's true.
like
No,
the
that's
shit
true.
comes
But what?
doesn't mean every fucking human gets it, man.
Well, think
No,
about this
I agree.
too.
But what I'm saying is,
We don't have enough surgeons to do the surgeries that are necessary now. Where the fuck are we going to get enough brain surgeons to put chips into hundreds of millions of people's heads?
like
Well,
I
they'd make
said,
a
I'm
robot
I'm
do it.
looking at it. I'm looking at it from a perspective of not Microsoft Word, but just about everybody has a flat screen TV in their house, no matter their socioeconomic background, right? Like everybody
Right.
has a flat screen. When they first came out, they were like $10,000. Now you can get a 65-inch for like $350.
But that's a
So
TV.
I'm
We're not
saying
talking about
eventually, yeah, I'm just saying eventually. That's the way I see it, man. From what I'm watching about how AI is going to just transform the world, I'm just not. I'm not too. I won't be too surprised if
that.
what
That's
we're
kind of
headed.
like how Bitcoin was supposed to already have taken over by now. And it's nowhere near taken over. I've never seen anybody purchase anything with Bitcoin.
No, it's just a collectible like online Beanie Baby, basically.
I've used
Yeah,
Bitcoin to
Bitcoin is
purchase stuff.
garbage. Yeah, but Bitcoin is that Bitcoin. I mean, what does Bitcoin have to do with AI?
Because at the
It's
time,
the concept.
15 years ago, it was a big thing that was supposed to take over the world, and everybody was going to be using Bitcoin in 10 years. You don't remember that?
Give it some time. Give it
I
some
mean,
time.
Now we got to give it more
yeah,
time.
Yeah, because eventually everything is going to be digital currency anyway.
Yeah, they're going to use it to create a digital currency to get rid of cash.
Yeah, that's what they said. But you already got that. You got your damn debit card. You got
Yeah, we're more than halfway there.
Apple Pay.
No,
You got Apple
yeah,
Pay.
it's a lot deeper than that. It's a lot deeper than that, because all your personal information, everything is going to be linked.
Right.
Well, it's in
Yeah,
China
look,
now.
I can't back up.
Yep,
I'm
Already
not
it's
been
a
vouching
credit
implemented.
for.
system.
I'm not a crypto bro. I'm not vouching for crypto at all because I think that's all just inflated garbage to me. But with
Salute
AI,
to salute to Ben Dick McGibbon. Well, salute to
What?
McBibby. My bad. Salute to I'm trying to read this thing. Salute to you, Benedict, man.
Like a,
Salute to Barry B, man. Salute to Barry B, man. Shout out to Barry B. Shout out to Benedict M. Um,
what you say there, like a typical African in the beginning, beginning.
yeah, salute to you, man.
Yo, imagine trying to implement the AI neural networking stuff in Africa.
Yeah, there's no fucking way,
Oh
man.
wow.
There's no way. In 20 years, no. That is absolutely delusional nonsense.
You think they would still commit genocide?
Can you imagine trying to explain that to them and they don't even know what the fuck a computer is?
It would just make their it would help them do all that shit more efficiently.
And if you're an uber rich person, why would you want to give a bunch of lowly peasant level people access to Neuralink?
Well, to control them, but if they're all going to become fucking geniuses,
But
then
if the
I don't know
idea
about
is
that.
it makes everybody a genius, that doesn't sound like such a great idea then.
Yeah,
But what is a genius?
I can get behind the whole digital all cashless society, everything you do is monitored, blah blah blah. Like that, yeah, that's what they want to do. And they want to be able to cut you out of society at a moment's notice, at
Yeah.
the behest of an algorithm. But like putting chips in millions of people's heads and then everybody's, curing cancer, but because they're bored. But no.
well, okay, so even if I give you that, like, I mean, I still think it's possible. I still think it might be on our track. We're on track to do that. Maybe not 20 years, but
If
even
you
if
can
we don't,
afford it.
right? Even if we don't, right? Even let's say the cream of the crop society or middle America can do it. Uh, uh, with the advent of like artificial general intelligence, and then they say like pretty soon after that we're gonna get artificial super intelligence, where we're gonna have thinking agents that are like a billion times smarter than any humans.
yeah. And
I,
when
I
I was
would bet
a kid,
that's already out there.
when I was a kid, they had a show called The Jetsons, right?
Oh, I love that show.
And it was supposed to be like that's what the future was going to be like in 2000. So it's like everybody thought, okay, we're gonna flying cars and all this shit. The Jetsons, man. Let me show you this shit. The Jetsons, man.
Man, that
And
was a great show.
we still don't have flying cars, man. We still don't have none of this. This was all you people excited about how things are gonna be in the future and shit. Slow down,
Yeah,
man.
the real reality is that most of us are going to be broke as fuck and trapped in our houses.
Facts.
Everything will be
I never
subscriptions.
got into this show.
All your money will be gone.
What a buzzkill.
His boy Elroy.
What a nice glider family.
You see how fake that is, right? Because in that future it should be very diverse. It should be a sun man with a glider woman.
Spacey Sprocket.
Okay, but also, if you're saying this didn't come true, right? Um, there was a guy named Alan Turing And there's a thing called the Turing test that he created, where he said that if you're in one room and you're speaking to a computer that's in the other room and you don't know it, the computer should talk as a human, where the person is unaware that he's talking to a computer. And a lot of people thought that that would be kind of impossible to do, but with this, the new Chat GPTs, the new large language models, that Alan Turing test has been passed, and it took
Mm.
about 70 years to do it. But if you brought back Alan Turing and he was performing this test, he would say it passed. He wouldn't know he wasn't talking to a guy or a computer.
Did
And
you
now
read
they
the
have this.
article when how they stated? I think it came out. May have came out yesterday or the day before. But he said 67% of the internet is controlled by bots. So you're technically not even dealing with actual human beings. You're dealing with bots.
Is that the dead internet theory?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Something to that, yeah.
Oh man, salute to you guys, man. Continue to support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. Let me see where we go next.
Ox coming to you live from the
Southside
bunker,
community
hiding
on
from
edge
the
tonight after senior citizen is
androids
brutally
and chip
attacked and sexually
people.
assaulted.
And WGN's Amy
And the
Victor
Sun
has more from the
Teens.
6th District, the Chicago Police Station.
Many Auburn Gresham
Nice.
residents have strong feelings about what police say happened to their 82-year-old neighbor. What's especially keeping people on edge is that police say the person is still on the run and residents don't know who to look out for.
Who would do that to an 82-year-old woman? That's horrible. That's sad.
I've been living in this area for 50 some years, and I just can't imagine who would do such a thing. It's terrible.
Several people in Chicago's Auburn Gresham neighborhood say they're disturbed by
Typical
what
Sun
police
Man
say
would.
happened to an 82-year-old woman. Investigators say someone broke into her apartment, then sexually assaulted her on Wednesday evening.
It's crazy to me, actually. That doesn't make sense. How could anybody even let that happen? And how was he able to get in her house? It's just so many questions that I have.
Police say it happened near West 82nd and South Ashland. The man allegedly got into the woman's home through a window and hit her in the face. After she fell to the ground, the suspect then sexually assaulted her. Police say the suspect was already gone when they arrived. The woman was taken to the hospital where she's reportedly doing okay.
Can't really walk around how you would want to. You can't really do the thing that you would want to, or either have your kids be outside if they want to. It's just not one of those type of neighborhoods.
Everyone knows that this block right here, 82nd and Ashland, 82nd and Marshfield, don't walk here at night.
Neighbors we spoke with say while they aren't shocked when they hear about certain crimes in this area, what police say happened to this 82-year-old woman is shocking enough to take extra precautions. A description of the suspect has not been released.
I would definitely keep my eyes open for strange activity. And if I do see something, I'll report it to the police.
It's unclear whether the suspect knew the woman or if this was a random act of violence. We've reached out to the property's managers for more information about what happened. Reporting on Southside, Emmy Victor, WGN News.
If there's no description of the suspect, that means that it's not necessary because it's a black male, and if I put a description of a black male out in the black neighborhood, because everybody's black. Like it's a bunch of black men. Like, yeah.
You showed us stories from Africa where this goes on, where it's a pattern.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What is that? Why did they do that?
Yo, rape a 82-year-old lady? I mean, geez.
Yeah, I can't get my head around it because it's so disgusting and
exactly.
It just. I can't figure it out, man. I would say mental illness, but like you said, they have countries in Africa where it's rampant. So it's like it can't be mental illness if everybody's doing it. It's just.
Prosecution and defense have rested their cases in a murder trial of a man accused of stabbing to death a young boy and injuring his mother.
WGN's Jewel Hillary is in Joliet with details.
During hours of testimony today, jurors saw video of defendant Joseph Chuba make alarming statements about Wadiya Al-Fayoume and his mother. They also saw evidence which included several knives and what appeared to be a child-sized T-shirt stained in blood. In day 3 of testimony for the murder and hate crime trial for Joseph Shuba, the 73-year-old defendant sat motionless during the majority of his time in court. While the jury has not heard directly from Shuba, they did see video of him shortly after the crimes while he was in a squad car. In the video, Shuba makes several comments, including, "I can't believe all these protests, people supporting the PLO. It's so evil. It's like Nazis." He also says, "I was afraid for my life. I was afraid for my wife. She would not leave. They are just like infested rats." He also says, "I begged her to get out for 3 days. She would not." Joseph Shuba faces charges of first-degree murder, attempted murder, aggravated battery, and hate crimes. He is accused of stabbing 6-year-old kindergartner Wadia Alfayume 26 times, killing him.
Dang.
Shuba is also accused of stabbing the boy's mother, 33-year-old Hanan Shaheen.
Is this
On
a Jewish
Tuesday,
crew guy?
Shaheen testified that she hid in the bathroom and called 911 after Shuba stabbed her in the back of the head and neck. The mom and son were renting rooms in Shuba's house. Authorities say he targeted them because of their Islamic faith. On Thursday, prosecutors called several witnesses to the stand, including a crime scene investigator with the Will County Sheriff's Department and forensic scientists from the Northeastern Illinois Regional Crime Laboratory. One of the scientists told jurors that based on her analysis, a knife handle and blade from the scene very likely include DNA from Alfayume, Shaheen, and Shuba. Another DNA analyst was presented with several pieces of clothing, including a child-sized T-shirt she had examined. She showed the jury a sleeve on the shirt covered in blood. While being cross-examined, she told the defense she could not tell the jury what time the blood stain got on the shirt. This trial is expected to continue at 9:45 on Friday morning. Shuba has pleaded not guilty. Reporting from the Will County Courthouse, I'm Jewel Hillary, WGN News.
Well, the mother of a boy who was fatally stabbed.
Damn, that's just these some horrible stories, man.
For real, a 6-year-old kid.
I mean, we got all these conflicting. I mean, the communities now are not homogenous anymore. You got Arabs and Jewish crew and sons and all kinds of different people mixing amongst each other in all these cities.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Multiculturalism doesn't work. Just ask England.
Multiculturalism is only for predominantly white countries. You don't hear people in Somalia saying, there's too many black people. We need some more white and Chinese people.
Yeah, they don't have any Jewish crew there.
Yeah, who does it benefit?
Nobody. It just ruins the country. Literally.
Who
But then-
benefits from countries being ruined?
We got it. But damn, poor 6-year-old kid. I mean, jeez. 26 times too. I mean, damn. So he probably would have killed the lady too if he could have.
He's a hater.
She locked herself in the room. I think she
Yeah.
locked herself in the room and left her kid out there. You know what I mean?
But I mean, she could have picked up a chair and hit him with it. I mean, he's an old man, so she probably could have, like fought him off or something.
A woman's still not as strong as
No,
a
no,
man, any man.
I feel you. I agree, but he is an old man. He's like 60 something, something like that. Maybe she could have. Maybe.
Shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Once you start stabbing people and shit, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like women and shit like that, like it is what it is. Let's see.
Funding for the production of Folks is provided in part by the Friends of LPB.
I was scared, okay? I sit back and think, I said, hey, I want to be a model, I'm a teenager myself. I'm only a child. And now I'm pregnant. I don't have a job or anything. What can I do?
And I hurt my parents real bad.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Hinton.
And I'm Genevieve Stewart. Today on Folks, we'll be taking a look at a very serious matter, the incidence of teenage pregnancy.
We'll be talking to 3 teen mothers and the director of a teen parent center in Baton Rouge.
We'll also have a discussion on adoption.
That and more today on Folks.
Mama's dead. Slave.
So you're gonna go try it too to see what it was like.
Is teenage pregnancy a real problem?
Yes, it is a problem, and it's a problem in New Orleans. It's a problem in Louisiana. It's a problem, I guess, nationwide. And that's the reason why we have a school such as Harbury. Back in the days when girls could not remain in school when they were pregnant, this school was founded. It was federally funded, and because it was successful in keeping pregnant girls in school, our school board decided to go on and keep on financing it and supporting it.
The Margaret Hoggery School in New Orleans used to be an elementary school, but now the space is shared with the school district's healthcare curriculum on the 2nd and 3rd floors and a specialized curriculum for pregnant girls on the 1st floor.
It's an alternative schools. Girls come here who want to come here. They don't have to come here. They're not kicked out of their district schools because they're pregnant. They come to us because they want to. They know that our school is small. We don't have a whole lot of stairs to go up and down. We do have all of the academic subjects that they need, all of the required subjects. We do have some elective subjects. We have typing and shorthand and clerical practice, homemaking, parenting. We offer parenting skills and how to take care of their own.
Why has the world changed a lot, man? And since then, man, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, like the Jetsons. They don't make cartoons like that anymore.
Yeah.
Face to the God. Peace, Allah. Hey, yo,
Dug on the riverfront 60 feet down, and the first concrete would be poured to support a massive monument.
Face to the God. Power of things change.
It's all right. I guess. I don't know. I ain't
Black man, move on.
And here in St. Louis, we have a division. 95% of South St. Louis is white.
Yeah.
95% of North St. Louis is black. And this ruling class plays us down the middle against each other.
How old are you? 17.
What's it like to live in St. Louis? You like living here?
It's all right. I guess. I don't know. I ain't never lived no place else.
There's definitely a boycott against Kroger's. There's definitely a boycott against Kroger for support overt white racism. There's definitely a boycott against.
Is that Dr. Umar?
They boycotting Target now, man. It's the same shit going on now.
Yeah, I'm making sure I go to Target tomorrow.
Hell
Kroger for tying up the Metropolitan Police Department with our tax dollars to watch them and them white racists and them Uncle Toms and them other people that go in there.
In our opinion, Mrs. Walker is really a symbol of the critical conditions that exist in terms of housing for poor people in the city of St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri is often called the gateway to the West. The city extends almost 20 miles along the Mississippi riverbank. From its very beginning, blacks have lived and worked here. Today, over 2 centuries since it was founded, St. Louis is a city marked by the paradoxes that often define black people's lives in America. Although at least 40% of the total population is black, blacks hold only one of the elected positions in St. Louis's city government. Only 6% of the city's businesses are owned by blacks. The problems of daily existence for black people have been around as long as the city has. And because black history is so deeply entrenched in the roots of St. Louis, the city is also rich in many aspects of black culture.
The St. Louis Blues has quite a detailed story. Of course, everybody knows that W.C. Handy is a man who did the St. Louis Blues and is responsible for it. But as a matter of fact and record, he did not compose the St. Louis blues, he compiled it. He had a guitar player who lived here in St. Louis by the name of Guy Williams, and they were lifelong friends. And Guy Williams brought out of Mississippi a little tune known as the Jogo Blues. And from this Mississippi tune, Mr. Handy put into his St. Louis blues.
Calling him mighty.
Yeah. You think these streets look better now today than they did back then? Like this same street? Do you think there's like better development going on there, more businesses, or is it worse?
Major city has. We have the problems of the minorities. We have the problems of a contracting tax base. We have the problems of delivering health service. We have the problems of dilapidated and houses that has to be rebuilt. So we have the same problems that every other city has to a greater or lesser degree.
Well, I see the same problems existing here in St. Louis for blacks as exist across this country. Primarily, they're problems that are based on the racial mentality of the majority of people who live in the area. When I say majority, I speak of the white community and the community with the influence and the power to make the decisions that affect the lives of black people. There seems to be a general attitude in this country among whites now that blacks have made too much progress. So we find ourselves fighting a holding kind of fight where we seem to feel as if we've been victorious if we can just keep them from taking back the rights that we've gained over the past 10 or 12 years.
The quality of black life in St. Louis today is a partial reflection of the history of blacks in that city. Black Enterprise magazine says, quote, St. Louis is an enigma, a 20th century city with a mentality still rooted in the Missouri Compromise, end quote. Still standing is the old courthouse, once an auctioning house for black slaves, and site of the Dred Scott decision, an act making the free black man, Dred Scott, a slave once he entered Missouri territory. Frankie and Johnny, two semi-legendary characters about whom much music has been written, were real people, black people who lived in St. Louis in the early 1900s. Judge Nathan Young, who testified in a court case for the woman, Frankie, has done volumes of research on the history and culture of black St. Louis.
St. Louis is one of the old cities of this country. It is now 208 years old, goes back to 1764. And I think if we...
Blacks spend a lot of time talking about history and all this bullshit, and it's like, none of that has anything to do with what you're doing today. Nothing.
Yeah. Man, it just stands out to me how 50 plus years later, their rhetoric has just gotten more extreme, more radical. It's just so ridiculous.
There was no hip hop then. There was no hip hop to blame it on. There was no crack to blame it on. This is before crack. This is before hip hop.
Gliders have been fucking bending over backwards for 50 years.
Housing complex known as Pruitt-Igoe, which was built at a cost of $33 million in federal funds in 1956. Since then, most of Pruitt-Igoe's tenants, the majority of whom were black, have left because of high rent, high crime rates, and the overwhelming density of population compacted into the area. Although the cost of building Pruitt-Igoe has not been fully paid as yet, today, 16 years after its completion, the area resembles a small ghost town.
Pruitt-Igoe, which is less than 15 years old when it was built, had some 10,000 people. Today, it has less than 500 families. There were some people who said that when Pruitt-Igoe was built, other cities should do likewise. But I think what we have here is an example of what should not be done when it comes to housing poor people. In 1969, when we had 10,000 people living in Pruitt-Igoe, there was a rent strike because people were saying that we can no longer pay 70% of our income for rent.
Reverend Buck Jones heads a self-help housing organization known as Operation Live.
Many of the people who lived here would move, but they did. And I think what happened was many of the families accumulated their escrow money and they simply moved into other slums. And therefore, what we see now is a place where people once lived.
Well, I think that Pruitt-Igoe is perhaps the most tragic mistake that this country has ever made in terms of public housing. And my position from the beginning has been that Pruitt-Igoe should be leveled to the ground, that it should be destroyed.
Today we have a plan that we've been working with Secretary Romney in demolishing a portion of the area and decompacting the area to bring in high-rise only for the elderly citizens and the low-rise for families with children, to open up recreational areas, to open up playground areas, to bring back commercial establishments, to bring back a department so that they could patrol themselves and that it would become safe and habitable. And I think that Pruitt-Igoe will again be an outstanding place in this community.
I think it's impossible to rehabilitate Pruitt-Igoe. Now they're in the process now of tearing down some of the buildings and spending another $50 million in taxpayer.
Jesus Christ, the black people have always been a money pit. It has always been like this thing where we, whatever you do for us, we criticize it and say that it was done wrong. And then you try something else and know that you didn't do that right. And we always just like.
Ark, I got a question.
Yeah.
How much would you have to pay the average Sun person or Sun family to move? Like, how much money would you have to pay them to move back to Africa?
There ain't enough.
That's a dumb question because they would just come right back. They would just run a scam on the whole thing.
Exactly. They take the money and come right back. That's true.
No, but let's just say they couldn't come back.
There's no way you couldn't keep them from coming back.
Let's just say, just for argument's sake.
If they couldn't come back, a lot of them wouldn't go because they know intuitively. I would say maybe 20% of them, 10 to 20% of them would go, but that's even a stretch. But we know living under the white man is living under a bunch of goddamn jungle bunnies and shit, or living under the white man. Come on, man. These African American people are going to choose to live under the white man. They live under the rulership of some jungle bunnies that can't run their own fucking country, and that got a culture that's all these fucking weird shit they be doing over there. Come on, man.
I mean, it's already kind of shown because how many of these millionaire Sun people like LeBron James and how many of them have a home somewhere in Africa, some African country? None.
Right. None. And if they did, it would be in Morocco or Egypt.
Or it would be heavily guarded.
Definitely.
It better be. If it's in Sub-Saharan Africa, it better be heavily guarded. Yeah, man. Niggas don't even do a concert. Like a bunch of rappers won't even get together and go Africa Fest every year. Like we have Africa Fest. Africa Fest 2025. Like, no, they
Yeah, for real.
ain't doing that shit.
But look, they got together to throw a fucking for that loser ass. What's his name? Big Meech, glorifying drug culture, gang culture, like just stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's money in an effort to rehabilitate or to refurbish Pruitt-Igoe, which, in my opinion, will not work. I think that if Pruitt-Igoe is ever going to be successful, that we're going to have to change the name of it. And I recommend that we change the name to Richard M. Nixon. And then I think that the federal government will come in and do something about the dastardly problems that exist at Pruitt-Igoe.
Reverend Jones and Operation Live members have helped many St. Louis residents secure housing, including Mrs. Laverne Walker, who was twice arrested for changing apartments within a housing complex.
In this case, they call this up, they have cleaned it up. There's a lot of broken windows shot through, and I cannot go back there. Personally, on about 3 weeks ago, I went to bed about 8 o'clock at night. Waking up about 5 minutes to 5, my air conditioner and television was missing out of the house. They had taken the air conditioner out of my kitchen window and a small television set off my refrigerator. I called the police in regard to this. I have never heard anything else. This place I found open. I told Reverend Jones if I found a place open, I would move into it. This place, the back door window was broke out, stuck my hand in and unlocked the door and I moved my stuff in here. And each time they come and move me back out and I move me back in.
The average black person who lives in this area really believes in their heart that the reason that they're not making repairs and filling the vacant apartments is that they're just trying to squeeze blacks out of the inner city. In our opinion, Mrs. Walker is really a symbol of the critical conditions that exist in terms of housing for poor people in the city of St. Louis.
That's going to be coordinated from.
Some of St. Louis's poor blacks have taken another route to secure better housing. Mackler Shepard heads the Jeff Vanderloo organization, which has coordinated the necessary financing to rehabilitate some homes and build new ones.
We formed Jeff Vanderloo 3 years after we had the Citizen Group in 1966 in October. Jeff Vanderloo is the cooperation. And we named it simply from the thoroughfares, not a person's name, it's names of streets by which the downtown flow of traffic goes and comes. As of now, we have completed 138 units, and we're under the process of what you see here, doing another 54 remodeling units, which is in the...
See, niggas used to do this type of work back in the day. Ain't that something? Ain't that crazy? You'll never see these black men on the work, this many black men on the work site. Nowadays. Never. Maybe the flagger.
Yeah.
Maybe the flagger. Support the channel, be a PayPal, Cash App, the Super Chat, guys. Take the $7 challenge, man. I mean, we should have people putting hundreds on this channel, man. The type of knowledge you getting. We can't even get $7. We should be getting hundreds and 50s and 20s. And I know I ain't, you know what I'm saying, but whatever, man. Take the $7 challenge, man.
The economy.
Hit the like.
Yeah, hit the
It
like
ain't
at
no
least.
economy, man. Don't say economy, man, because I watch YouTube all day, man. It ain't no economy. But this is a lot of it's a lot of black dudes on this site, man. That's encouraging, man. Hold on, let me just put it up.
I don't see
The prison
that here.
population here has become...
I don't see that here. All I see is Latinos, white guys, and maybe a black guy.
That's all I see is Latino.
A rental type of thing.
Protest, man. They ain't got no food, no proper medication. No contracting outside of the city. done about that, you know?
As has happened in other cities across the nation, the prison population here has become increasingly vocal, and the black community increasingly aware of the regressive effects of jail. St. Louis recently experienced a jail disturbance, and afterwards, relatives of inmates and concerned citizens demonstrated for inmate rights.
The disturbance
Jesus Christ, man.
Inmate rights.
The same shit, yo. It's
For
like,
real.
no matter what era, we always
matter what
up to the
country.
same shit. This is how we interface with America. We interface with America like this. There's not Trump. It's not the Democrats. It's not this. It's not that. This is how we interface with America. We see people. If you let these people let you make a fuss in the streets about shit. Okay, boom. These people have a jail system. They don't just cut your arms off or kill you if you commit a crime. Okay, they have a place called jail. Okay, we gonna fill that motherfucker to the brim with us. It's the same shit. Or they have free housing. Okay, then we gonna go get the free housing, and then complain about the free housing.
Yep. And all these people protesting, instead of doing that, they're not trying to work. They're not applying nowhere. Not. They got all day to fucking protest.
This is us, man. This is
And then
us.
complain about being poor. It's like, yeah, of course you're poor because you're protesting all day instead of fucking working.
Yeah, this is us. This is the black interface. This is what even there was no internet back then. There was no cable news back then. No cable. There was nothing. These niggas doing the same fucking thing.
jail was about the prisoners had grievances about the cold food, about not having a towel and a rag to face rag to wash with, and about their visiting, about how the law is working here, about the judges over in the court, and about the warden in the city jail. I was inside the city jail for 4 months. Since I've been out, I've been fighting for the prisoners up in the jail. I sit up under this tree out here for 6 days and 6 nights, protesting for the prisoners that's still in the jail.
John Bass supervises the city jail.
Well, the population at the city jail here, we have a range of, I'd say, about 85% of the population are minority group members. The population of the city of St. Louis, we think it's something like about a 50-50 population. So it's a disproportionate number of blacks in the institution compared to our total population. I would have to concur that the inmate population here is typical of populations in ghettos throughout America. I feel that we have the same responsibility to this population as the population that is in the open community that got out of
Yo, how many
commercial
times
bonds.
he gonna say
What
the
we're
word
doing right
population?
Said a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah, for real. He's got a job. They could get a job too.
These niggas, it's the same old shit, no matter what era.
right now is we're doing a reconnaissance, searching for some Wonder Bread or Hostess trucks in the neighborhood. And what we plan to do is to let them lead us to the stores that they are still putting the bread in. We're boycotting all Wonder Bread and Hostess product for fair and equal employment for blacks. We plan to visit a couple of other stores.
Man, that
Wait,
Wonder
what?
Bread, that Wonder Bread boycott didn't last long at all. I can tell you that right there. I'm black. Black people can't go without their Wonder Bread.
I didn't know that.
But how are they
I was
complaining
very
about?
confused. Why would they choose that? But
I don't get how they complaining about equal employment when I see two cops and a warden of a prison. Like, what the hell?
Well,
They
I
ain't got
mean,
jobs and they black.
well, yeah, but like they complaining about there's probably a Wonder Bread plant somewhere, and they probably didn't hire a black person here or a black person there. All this stuff is
It's symbolic.
Yeah.
Yo,
Wonder white bread.
You wouldn't believe how many freaking black people complain in the hospital I work at that the country's racist, but I tell them, yo, but you're working here, so how's it racist?
Yep.
You work just like I do. So what are you talking about?
This is us, man. This is black folk, man. This is us.
That we know that is still carrying the product. And we will go in and ask the merchant once again to withdraw the product. And upon him failing to do so, a picket line will be thrown up around his store.
We all still stocking the Wonder Bread. You don't feel a need to support
we just
fair
follow the
employment
company policy. We follow our company's policies.
As a company's policy to support
You don't
white
feel the
racism.
need
The
to.
company is at 6050 North Lindbergh. If you have any problems, suggest you talk to them.
I'm saying that's the company's policy. Right?
I don't really know what it is. I just do what they
Why
tell me.
can't you follow it if you don't know what it is?
Well, I just do what they tell me.
That action taken there at Kroger Supermarket was to sensitize that particular store, making them aware
Is
of
he
the
going
fact that,
gangster?
as far as we're concerned, we're holding them just as much as
Taking all the Wonder
responsible
Bread over
for stocking this bread,
Is he stealing that
knowing
bread?
that we are boycotting the product.
There's definitely a boycott against Kroger's. There's definitely a boycott against Kroger for support overt white racism. There's definitely a boycott against Kroger for tying up the Metropolitan Police Department.
Wonder Bread officials say that of 650 employees in St. Louis, 200 or 30% are black. They claim minority employment covers all job categories. The plant's program of hiring, training, and upgrading of minority workers, they argue, has been underway for more than 10 years.
It is equally important for whites to have their share of the menial jobs.
Getting boycotted.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
man.
30% are sons. They still ain't happy.
Man.
What do they?
As it
what
is,
do they want?
whites to
100%.
have their share of the better paying jobs.
I think the rate of unemployment for blacks is even higher than 1 out of 4. And I know in terms of youth unemployment, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 42%. There's a great deal of reluctance on the part of the people in Washington to make the employers in the St. Louis area comply with the laws of this land. And until we get that kind of enforcement, I don't think that blacks are going to be able to get equal employment or even jobs in any measurable amounts.
In 1960s, in reviewing all of the federal programs and the condition of the black community, it was obvious that we were not solving the problems that took place in the 60s. We were winding up with unemployment. After a number of years of working with various different programs, we were winding up still with a poor school system, with poor housing, and so on. So the question is, we had to think in terms of how does the community develop its own resources? Because when we say economic development, we're really talking about bringing all of the funds and all of the resources that we can into the community to be able to supply all of the needs for that community. That means hospitals, schools, housing, daycare centers, and everything that the community needs.
What is the picture for blacks in the media in St. Louis?
Well, in St. Louis, we wouldn't receive any gold embossed merit badges. The picture is frankly bleak. There are few people in media who stand out. The picture is bleak. It really doesn't mean that much if you stand out. You see, there are messages to be given. There are things to be said. And many times black people in media are not either allowed to give the messages or won't. Let me give you an example of what I mean. St. Louis is the fifth most segregated city in America. In the next 10 years, we will be more black than white. During that same period of time, the city fathers in this city plan to spend $97.8 million for crime control. Many black people think that means them. During the same period, they will spend $1 million for civil
really?
rights. That is a very scary thing in the city of St. Louis that affects black people. And yet to get black reporters and black people in media to talk about this is almost impossible. So I say we are either not allowed to do our jobs in St. Louis or there's a great amount of apathy.
Although the first black civil rights demonstration was held in this city over 150 years ago, blacks have been unable to make significant gains since then. Some black St. Louis residents feel the best way of effecting a change for the better is through the creation of alternatives to existing institutions. One important area where this is happening is in education. The St. Louis African Free School, based on the alternative free school idea, operates out of a small one-room basement in St. Peter's AME Church. 20 students attend 5 classes a week in Swahili, history, science, and mathematics. Everything taught at the African Free School is based on the premise that in youth lies the future of black people.
All right, brothers and sisters, this morning we're going through our lesson in Swahili. And you recall that Swahili is one word from an African language that means coast. So Swahili means coast. Let me hear you say that. Swahili means coast. Now, does anybody know what the coast is? Sister Tanya?
The line between the water and the land.
The line between the water and the land. All right, let's say that together. Coast means the line between the water and the land. Red is for the blood.
My forefathers. Which has not been shed.
Which has not been shed.
In vain.
In vain.
Black. Is for our faces.
Is for our faces.
And the job we must do.
And the job we must do.
Green. Is for you.
Is for the youth.
And new ideas.
And new ideas.
Sisi watu weusi.
Sisi watu weusi.
Watu wazuri.
Watu wazuri.
Pamoja. Tutashinda. Pamoja. Tutashinda. We are black. Beautiful people. Together. We will win. Together.
Oh yes,
We will
sister.
win. Sanga. What time is?
Nation time.
What time is?
Nation time.
What's gonna happen?
Land gonna change.
What's gonna happen?
Land gonna change.
That was some premium education.
Yo, Ark.
Yep.
That's insane.
Interesting, man. Yeah, man. What are your thoughts, guys? What the hell was that? What are your final thoughts?
Great show. R.I.P. Gene Hackman, one of the biggest actors,
Yeah.
iconic actors ever. Favorite Gene Hackman movie?
Oh man, Jesus, man.
Much love to the
man.
nation.
He's in so many great. He's in so many great movies, man. Hunt for Red October. That's probably the one. That'd be the best.
Using that? I thought that's Sean Connery. I think you think about Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide.
Ark, I
Yeah,
have a
that's mine
question.
too.
Will Trump ever tackle the Sunman crime problem? Will he ever put that on the table?
Who put the well, who
The
put
president.
the oh the president? Oh man, a lot of the cities have gotten their murder numbers down. So I think
Yeah.
anything he puts out there is going to be like immigration crime and things like that. But if he does have to tackle the crime problem in the black community, um, if he does have to tackle it, I think he'll tackle it. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll do it. Yeah, I think he will. He'll be the same way. He'll be brash about it. Like, man, we're gonna shut this shit down.
What do you think he would do, Ak? Like, what do you think he would?
Threats, a lot of threats, and see if and then you know at the federal level, he'll do stuff at the federal level, which really don't affect the day to day black person because they go into state prison or city jail, county jail, some shit like that. So he would make changes to the federal level. It would be like, yeah, we're doing this, but it would only be on the federal level because that's what he would control. Um, like how can he affect the state prisons and the county jails with 90% of the blacks up? He really can't do nothing about it, and there is no solution. But I think he would do something, make a federal law, and then be suck for all you niggas that get caught up in the feds. Suck for DC people from DC because he goes to the feds. We don't have a state prison. So yeah, it would. I think he would. He would. I think that he definitely do something big at this federal level, but
Yeah,
it wouldn't affect anything.
but what if he like makes something like, uh, ha- if you're a convicted felon and you get caught with a gun, it becomes a federal crime. So now,
Mm.
the mammies in the DA they can't let him
They're gonna
go.
have to build a lot more federal facilities though. If you do that, you're gonna have to build a lot more facilities, and then they'll be like, all right, man, they might build more facilities, but you gonna need more facilities if you do that. You're gonna need a much more federal penitentiaries.
Yeah, that's true. But it would scare people, I would think. I mean,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. I think he definitely. I don't think he want to lock a lot of black people up. I don't think he wants to do that. But I think that if Bush ain't the thug, he would definitely be bold and hard on it. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Um. Yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, let me get out of here, man. Um. Great show, everybody, man. Make sure you support the channel. Make sure you join the Patreon too. Patreon is free. Be doing live streams on the Patreon next month, so make sure you join the Patreon, man. So you don't have to be blindsided when that happens and have to go down and then try to find it and all this shit. Um,
Yeah, real quick,
same, like, good, good.
about your Patreon. I was under the impression that Patreon is actually more woke than YouTube because a guy like AIU, he got like banned from Patreon because
Oh yeah.
the videos that he was making, they banned him.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah,
He gets
yeah,
banned from everywhere. Damn, that's
right.
crazy. Um, that's
So just
crazy. I have
letting
to
you know.
look into that. I have to look into that.
Wait,
Yeah,
what
AI,
who were you talking about? What was the name?
There's a guy
Devin
named
Stacy.
Atheism is Unstoppable. He used to be a big YouTuber,
No, but what
but
was
he
his
kept
name?
getting well, his YouTube name is Atheism is Unstoppable.
Uh huh.
Um, as a matter of fact, his parents' home got burned down in Pacific Palisades. But in any case, because he's good
What?
friends with actual Justice Warrior. But yeah,
Did God
so
do it?
Yeah, he knows
maybe,
about this channel. He talks about this channel from time to time.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, he would make a lot of videos about sun crime and all this kind of stuff, but he was just too real. So YouTube banned him, Patreon banned him, a few other places banned him. So just letting you know, like I don't think like Patreon is more woke than people believe.
I'll have to look into that. Let's thank you for that, man. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace up.
Good night, everyone.
Salute.